Chapter 1184. Madame Qi was thinking that if Zhao Yun'er was so eager to buy the barren mountain, since this thing was very important to her, then she would buy it in advance. Zhao Yun'er would naturally not be able to buy it. If Zhao Yun'er wanted to get it, then she could only buy it from her. At that time she could raise the price. She could ask Zhao Yun'er for 10, 15, or even 20 taels of silver for something that could be bought with 5 taels of silver. Anyway, as long as Zhao Yun'er wanted it, no matter how high the price was, it could only be obtained from her. In this way she could double the amount of money she earned. Zhao Yun'er, that little b****, was very rich. It would be even better if she could make a good meal out of her. Thus, Madame Qi made up her mind to buy the barren mountain back first. After eagerly entering Li Zheng's house, Li Zheng raised his eyebrows and asked, "Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, why have you come to my house?" Li Zheng usually saw Madame Qi come over because of trivial matters with the women in the village, so it was the same for this time. Li Zheng was most annoyed with the quarrels between the women in the village and the fact that he had to be the judge of such trivial matters. It was very uncomfortable for him, a grown man, to be sandwiched in the middle. However, what surprised Li Zheng this time was that Madame Qi did not come because of this matter. Madame Qi's heart was now thinking about the matter of money. How could she be in the mood to bicker with other women? "Lord Li Zheng, I'm here to buy the barren mountain from you," Madame Qi said with a smile. Li Zheng was slightly stunned and looked at Madame Qi with uncertainty. "What, buy the barren mountain?" "Yes, Lord Li Zheng, it's the barren mountain in our village," Madame Qi explained. Li Zheng was slightly stunned and was a little curious. Why did Madame Qi run to him to talk about this matter when Zhao Yun'er just came over to talk to him about it? Could it be that this barren mountain had some special function? Everyone in the village knew about it, but he was the only one who did not know? Seeing that Lord Li Zheng was stunned, Zhao Yun'er said, "What's wrong, Lord Li Zheng, can't I buy it?" Li Zheng frowned and said to Madame Qi, "It's not that I can't sell it, but Yun'er already told me that she also wants to buy this barren mountain." Madame Qi said with a smile, "Lord Li Zheng, she said so. Isn't this barren mountain still in your hands? Has she applied for the land deed?" Li Zheng shook his head and said, "I don't have that. As for the deed, it can only be done tomorrow." Madame Qi chuckled as she continued, "Isn't that enough? Her name hasn't been written on the title deed, so it's not hers." Li Zheng frowned and said to Madame Qi, "But Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law Yun'er already came over to tell me that she wants to buy it. Although the land deed is not in her name now, buying things should be done on a first-come first-served basis. Yun'er came over before you, so you said it first. If I want to sell it, I naturally have to sell it to her first." A glint flashed across Madame Qi's eyes. After 2 rounds she continued to speak to Lord Li Zheng. "Lord Li Zheng, you can't say it like that. The so-called first-come first-served can't be said with words. I think whoever wants to buy this barren mountain should be the one who brings the money to you first. Otherwise, how can it be called a business transaction? Lord Li Zheng, she said she wants to buy it. Has she paid?" Chapter 1185. I don't have it either." Madame Qi had a look of understanding and said to Li Zheng, "Lord Li Zheng, if that's the case then it's fine. You can't be partial to Zhao Yun'er. She said that she wants to buy the barren mountain. Now that she hasn't even given you the money, it doesn't count. Wait here, I'll go back and get you the money now. After you pay the money you have to sell the barren mountain to me." Li Zheng's face was conflicted. He was indeed partial to Zhao Yun'er, but Madame Qi's words didn't make sense. A transaction like this had to be paid before it counted. Zhao Yun'er's greeting didn't count as buying the barren mountain. All right, Lord Li Zheng, don't say any more. Just wait for me at home. I'll bring the money to you soon." With that, Madame Qi came out of Li Zheng's room and ran in the direction of her house. Family Zhu's money was in her hands. Originally Mrs. Zhu was in charge of the money, but now she was in charge of the money. Although Zhu Daniu didn't treat her well now, the higher-ups still listened to her. Madame Qi was very satisfied with this. When Family Zhu separated from the family, they didn't calculate the money on the surface. The first branch secretly saved up some money. Together with the original money, they had a total of 6 or 7 taels of silver. Therefore, 5 taels of silver was very easy for Madame Qi to take out. She didn't need to discuss this matter with Zhu Daniu. She was afraid that Zhu Daniu wouldn't agree and miss such a good opportunity to earn money. After she earned the money from Zhao Yun'er, Zhu Daniu wouldn't be able to say anything about her. Instead, he would praise her for earning more money. Thinking of this, Madame Qi felt very happy. If she could transfer 5 or 10 taels of silver to Zhao Yun'er, it wasn't a small sum of money. She could buy more delicious food back home to eat secretly, buy more clothes, and buy some rouge, face powder, or jewelry. Looking at what she was wearing now, it was really too tattered and too shabby. She couldn't dress up properly. She was not very good looking to begin with. Now that she was old and did not dress up, she naturally looked like a haggard old woman. How could she compare to a young and beautiful girl like Mu Hin? That was why Zhu Danyu's heart was hooked by Mu Hin. He did not even look at her. Once she earned enough money and dressed herself up properly, she would be able to become prettier. Perhaps Zhu Danyu would change his mind and treat her as well as before. Madame Qi returned home happily. She took out the money from the bottom of her box and quickly counted 5 taels of silver. Then she ran to Li Zheng's house, afraid that she could not catch up with Zhao Yun'er. When they arrived at Li Zheng's house, Madame Qi paid the money and happily said to Li Zheng, "Lord Li Zheng, I've sent the money over to you. You can't be biased. This barren mountain is mine. You have to get the deed done for me tomorrow." Madame Qi's money was forcefully stuffed into Li Zheng's hands. Li Zheng looked at the 5 taels of silver in his hands. He was full of helplessness and did not know what to say. Since Madame Qi sent the money over in advance before Zhao Yun'er, he couldn't directly say that the barren mountain was not sold to her, but to Zhao Yun'er. If this matter was spread out, people would probably say that he was unfair. Moreover, with Madame Qi's personality, she would definitely make a scene. Although Li Zheng's heart was biased towards Zhao Yun'er, in order to avoid unnecessary trouble in the future, Lord Li Zheng felt that it was better to forget it. Chapter 1186. The only thing Li Zheng was worried about was how Zhao Yun'er would react when she heard the news. He was still vaguely worried. What if Zhao Yun'er also came out to cause trouble? Zhao Yun'er relied on the heir presumptive? He was stuck in the middle and felt really uncomfortable. Forget it, forget it. He didn't want to think about it anymore. The more he thought about it, the more annoyed he felt. Li Zheng said to Madame Qi, "All right then. Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, I'll get the title deed done for you tomorrow. This barren mountain is yours." Madame Qi agreed happily. She just waited for Zhao Yun'er to hear the news and come over to buy it from her. Then she would blackmail Zhao Yun'er. "All right, Lord Li Zheng. I'll go back first then." Go back, go back." Li Zheng waved at Madame Qi impatiently and helplessly. After Zhao Yun'er went back, she first went to Liang Jinxiao's place. She made do with Liang Jinxiao for dinner at night so that she wouldn't have to cook alone, which would be more troublesome. When she went to old Zhao's house, she saw that the second branch was also happy. Zhao Yun'er asked Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, what happened to second uncle and second aunt's family? Why do they all look so happy?" Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "They're so happy. Of course it's something good." In the afternoon, young Master Zheng sent someone over to deliver something. He said that he wanted to marry Jing so the marriage was set. After listening to Liang Jinxiao's explanation, Zhao Yun'er finally understood. So that's what happened. During this period of time, because of this matter, the people of the second branch were worried sick. Now that young Master Zheng finally came over, the second branch didn't need to discuss it and immediately agreed. She was afraid that if she hesitated, the person that young Master Zheng liked would leave. At that time, such a good marriage would be enough. She couldn't find a better one. However, Zhao Yun'er knew very well that the marriage had been delayed for so long. Young Master Zheng must have asked the matchmaker to find a girl from another family. However, he couldn't find a girl more suitable than Zhao Yun'er, so he looked for her again. If it were Zhao Yun'er or someone with some backbone, they would definitely refuse. This young Master Zheng obviously did not put them in his eyes. Who would be willing to be a spare tire? However, old Zhao's family was greedy for young Master Zheng's money, and Zhao Jing'er wanted to marry into a rich family. She didn't want to live a hard life, so she didn't object. Zhao Yun'er could only shake her head and sigh in her heart as if she had gotten a treasure and taken advantage of it. However, this was someone else's business. It had nothing to do with her, so she wouldn't interfere. As long as she was happy, it was fine. "By the way, Yun'er, your second cousin's wedding is coming soon," Liang Jinxiao said with a smile. Zhao Yun'er's eyes lit up with surprise. "Really, mother?" Liang Jinxiao nodded with a smile. "Of course it's true. Why would I lie to you about this? Is it that girl called Jinju?" Zhao Yun'er continued to ask with some anticipation. Liang Jinxiao continued to nod. Yes, it's that girl." "That's great. Second cousin happens to like her. That girl is not bad either. It's good that they get together." Zhao Yun'er was happy in her heart. Her second cousin was a good person, so Zhao Yun'er hoped from the bottom of her heart that Zhao Tianhu could find a good marriage with a good girl. Chapter 1187. In this way, old Zhao's family really had a lot of happy events to hold during this period of time. If it was Zhao Xinhui's wedding, Zhao Jing'er's wedding, and Zhao Qianhu's wedding, they would have to hold 3 weddings at once. It would be very busy. However, for such a happy event, the villagers preferred to be busy. The busier they were, the happier they would be. After all, when they held a wedding they could still receive gifts. In general, it was just that they were busy and they would not lose much money holding a banquet. Mother, did second cousin brother set a date with the bride's family for his wedding? How did they discuss it so quickly? Zhao Yun'er could not hold back her curiosity and continued to ask Liang Jinxiao. Liang Jinxiao was not impatient. Instead he laughed and said, "Ha, it seems that the date has been set. It shouldn't be too far away. Maybe they think that our old Zhao's family conditions are good, and the girl is also satisfied, so they agreed to let her marry into our family." Zhao Yun'er nodded. Mother, what about second cousin brother's skills? He didn't ask for much, right? Zhao Yun'er saw that Zhou Damiai's attitude towards Jianghu was very bad. She wondered if Zhou Damiai would rely on this daughter to extort a sum of money when Jianghu got married. Liang Jinxiao said, "No, he only asked for 2 taels of silver. Most people in our village pay this price for a wife. It's not excessive." Zhao Yun'er listened. 2 taels of silver as a betrothal gift was indeed quite normal and not excessive. He became even more curious in his heart. In this case, this Zhou Damiai was not as bad as she appeared to be. She treated Jianghu well. At least Jianghu had found a good family to marry into when she married Zhao Qianhu. Moreover, she did not ask for much money. Compared with how Mu Lan's family treated Mu Hin, this was much better. Zhao Yun'er thought that maybe not everyone was so bad. Some people who seemed to be bad had a good side. At the end of the day, human nature was simply too mysterious. Under normal circumstances, it was impossible to figure it out. Zhao Yun'er smiled. Mother, this is good. I estimate that second cousin brother's marriage is 80% successful. It seems that we have to congratulate him in advance. Liang Jinxiao followed behind Zhao Yun'er and smiled. Yes, we have to congratulate your second cousin brother. Speaking of which, our old Zhao family has so many happy events recently. Liang Jinxiao's words fell into Zhao Baoshan's ears. Zhao Baoshan also looked very happy. He laughed and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Ha, our family indeed has a lot of happy events. There have been so many happy events recently. It must be related to the ancestors' blessing." Speaking of this, Liang Jinxiao continued Zhao Baoshan's words. "Yes, father, it must have something to do with the blessing of our ancestors. Didn't we go up the mountain to build a tomb a while ago? After the tomb was built, good things happened one after another." Zhao Baoshan stroked his beard and nodded with a smile. Yes. Third daughter-in-law, you're right. If you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have thought of it. Now that you mention it, I feel that it really has something to do with the ancestor's tomb. I guess the ancestor was happy and blessed our family. Sai, if I had known this, I would have built the tomb earlier. Our family would have had happy events earlier. Liang Jinxiao replied, "Yes, father. But it's not too late now. The happy events have already happened. Our family situation is not bad." Chapter 1188. Yes. Let's make a plan. We have to prepare more paper money when we visit the graves during the Qingming festival. When we have money, we have to burn more for our ancestors so that they can have a better life in the afterlife. Zhao Baoshan sighed again. Zhao Yun'er listened from the side and could not help but want to laugh. What her mother and Zhao Baoshan said was really mysterious. It was not strange at first, but after their interpretation, it seemed like a supernatural event. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er wanted to laugh, Liang Jinxiao poked Zhao Yun'er and said very seriously, "Yun'er girl, don't laugh. Don't doubt it. Mother and your grandfather are telling the truth." Zhao Yun'er chuckled and agreed, Yes. Mother, you're right. Mother will prepare some things later and burn them in front of our ancestors' graves so that our ancestors can bless you. It's best if you have a happy event this year." Liang Jinxiao nagged. Although there were many happy events in old Zhao's family this year, her family only had one. After marrying Zhao Ping'er, Liang Jinxiao was now thinking about Zhao Yun'er. Her family would only be complete when both of her daughters were married. As for Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu, both of them were not that old, so there was no need to be anxious now. Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched a few times and she said to Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, there's no need, right?" Yes, there's definitely a need." Zhao Baoshan also said from the side, "Yun'er girl, let your mother serve you. Who knows, your happy event might follow." Zhao Yun'er was a little helpless. "Okay then, mother, if you like to cause trouble, go ahead." "Okay, then mother will prepare some things in 2 days." Zhao Yun'er smiled embarrassedly, not knowing what to say. After dinner, Zhao Yun went back to get 5 taels of silver and prepared to send it to Li Zheng. However, when she arrived at Li Zheng's house, she was told by Li Zheng that the barren mountain had been sold. Zhao Yun looked at Li Zheng in confusion. "Uncle Li Zheng, what the hell is going on? I just came over to tell you. How long has it been? I just went home to get some money. How could it be bought by someone else?" Li Zheng smiled. Zhao Yun was still a little angry and felt that it was ridiculous. No one would feel comfortable if the matter that they had discussed was not told. Li Zheng helplessly looked at Zhao Yun. Girl, what you said is indeed true. But when you came, the barren mountain wasn't sold yet. After you left, the barren mountain was sold." Zhao Yun's frown deepened. "Uncle Li Zheng, why? Wasn't I the one who said it? You didn't agree?" Li Zheng sighed and said, "Ai Yun girl, don't be angry. Listen to me slowly. What's going on? I didn't want it to happen either, but I really had no choice." Zhao Yun tried hard to calm herself down and listen to what Li Zheng had to say. Li Zheng then explained the situation in detail. Zhao Yun could not help but want to curse. Madam Qi, this woman was too shameless. Although Li Zheng had his own helplessness, if this matter got out, it would be a sale without payment. Everyone would definitely think that it should be like this. However, Zhao Yun just did not feel comfortable. Chapter 1189. Li Zheng said to Zhao Yun apologetically. Zhao Yun knew that it was useless to make things difficult for Lord Li Zheng now. Madam Qi was obviously going against her. She purposely bought the mountain so that she could only buy it from her. At that time, Madam Qi would definitely offer a higher price, which would be more than 5 taels of silver. Zhao Yun was very clear about Madam Qi's scheme. Seeing that Zhao Yun did not speak, Li Zheng sighed again. "Yun, if you really want to buy that barren mountain, you should quickly discuss it with family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law and see if he can give it to you." Zhao Yun responded faintly. She walked out of Li Zheng's house and went straight to family Zhu. She wanted to ask Madam Qi if she had the same idea as Madam Qi. Family Zhu was busy cooking in the kitchen when it was dinner time. Madam Qi was very happy because she bought the barren mountain today. She lay in the room in a daze, thinking about how to spend the money she earned from Zhao Yun. She was so engrossed in her thoughts that she even forgot about the time to cook. Zhu Dainyu came back from working in the fields. He thought that he could eat at home, but when he came back he found that the table at home was cold and there was no food at all. Unlike his second brother's house, there was a table set up outside with fragrant food on it. Smelling the aroma, Zhu Dainyu heard his stomach growl. He was a little hungry. At this time Zhu Qiao ran out and pulled Zhu Dainyu's hand. "Father, I'm hungry. Father, I want to eat so much." Zhu Dainyu touched Zhu Qiao's head and asked, "Where's your mother? Hasn't she cooked for you?" Zhu Qiao shook her head. "Father, she hasn't. Mother is lying in the room. She seems to have fallen asleep, so she hasn't cooked." When Zhu Dainyu heard this, his face immediately darkened. He frowned and was very displeased. His wife was really too lazy. He worked himself to death in the fields, but she didn't even bring the children and went to sleep in the room. Because of this, he didn't even have a hot meal when he came back. The children were also hungry. Zhu Dainyu walked into the room angrily. With a bang he kicked the door open. Madam Qi, who was lying in bed in a daze, was shocked. She jumped out of bed. "What's wrong?" Madam Qi thought that something had happened at home. When he jumped up he realized that the person he saw was Zhu Dainyu. Why did you kick the door open? What if he broke the door with a kick? Don't you know how to be gentle?" Madam Qi nagged at Zhu Dainyu. Zhu Dainyu snorted. "Why did you kick the door open? I came in to teach you a lesson, you lazy woman." Only then did Madam Qi realize that Zhu Dainyu's face was dark and he looked angry. "Ah." Madam Qi was stunned. Then she asked nervously, "Dainyu, what did I do wrong again?" "What did you do wrong? Can't you see what time it is? You didn't eat anything wrong. Do you want to starve your husband or your children?" Zhu Dainyu questioned angrily. Madam Qi looked puzzled and asked meekly, Is it time to eat?" Chapter 1190. If she had known the time, she definitely wouldn't have slept for so long. Speaking of which, it was all because of this barren mountain. If she didn't have sweet dreams, she naturally wouldn't feel that time had passed so quickly. Zhu Dainyu's face became even colder. "Are you too idle at home every day? You don't even remember the time to cook. Do I have to bring you to work in the heaven and earth?" Madam Qi replied weakly, "Dainyu, don't be angry. I just accidentally forgot. Besides, there's still Mother at home. I don't have to cook dinner alone. Mother can cook too." Madam Qi now put the blame on Mrs. Zhu. She cursed in her heart. That old woman had been too lazy these days. She had been counting on her to do the work all day, but she didn't even reach out to help. Now she was being scolded by Zhu Daniu. Zhu Daniu felt that Madame Qi was simply hopeless. This lazy woman. It must be because he treated her too well. Otherwise she wouldn't be so lawless. You're really good at twisting words and forcing logic. You're lazy. Don't give me so many excuses. Look at second sister-in-law, she is so diligent. Every time she cooks the food well and waits for second brother to come back. But you are lazy every 2 to 3 days. If you are like this again, if you don't change, I will divorce you. Madame Qi's heart tightened when she heard this. If she was divorced, it would be embarrassing when she returned to her maternal family. Women in ancient times were most afraid of being divorced by their husbands. They felt that it was a very shameful thing. Basically, women who were divorced by their husbands' families weren't welcomed back to their maternal families. Madame Qi thought that Zhu Daniu had already fallen in love with another woman. If this gave him an excuse, he would really divorce her. Then she didn't know what to do. Thus, she hurriedly said to Zhu Daniu, "Xiaoer's father, don't be angry. I'll cook for you right now." With that, Madame Qi quickly got up from the bed and ran to the kitchen with a jolt of her buttocks. Not long after, smoke began to rise from the kitchen, and the sound of cooking could be heard. Zhu Daniu was still frowning, his face full of displeasure. The more he looked at the Qi family, the more he despised them. What a useless person. Not only was he not good-looking, but he was also lazy and didn't like to work all day. His house was filthy, not even half as clean as his second brother's house. In addition to this, his wife also liked to stir up trouble in the village and quarrel with other women. Because of this, many men complained in front of him and asked him to teach Madame Qi a lesson. Previously he still had some leeway in his heart, but now he felt that he really shouldn't be soft-hearted. He should teach the Qi family a lesson so that they would know the immensity of heaven and earth. While Madame Qi was cooking, Zhu Daniu waited in the courtyard with Zhu Xiaoer. Even if they were hungry now, there was nothing they could do. They could only wait for Madame Qi to finish cooking before they could eat. Because Zhu Xiaoer was too hungry, she pulled Zhu Daniu's hand and said coquettishly, "Father, I'm hungry. I'm so hungry that my stomach hurts. Xiaoer wants to eat. Second aunt's food smells so good." As Zhu Xiaoer spoke, she rubbed her little belly. Zhu Daniu frowned, feeling a trace of heartache. After all, she was his biological daughter. As a father, how could he bear to see his child starve? Chapter 1191. Thus he comforted Zhu Xiaoer. "Xiaoer, wait a moment. Your mother is cooking now and will be done soon. Bear with it a little longer. Father is hungry too." Zhu Xiaoer said with an aggrieved face, "Father? But what?" "But Xiaoer is really too hungry." Zhu Daniu sighed helplessly. His resentment towards Madame Qi deepened. It was all that lazy woman's fault. Otherwise, his daughter wouldn't have been starved to this extent. Zhu Daniu patted Zhu Xiaoer's head and comforted her. "All right, Xiaoer. Father can't make anything for you to eat. Next time if you're hungry, don't bear with it yourself. Tell your mother and ask her to make something for you. If she doesn't cook, tell me later and see how I'll deal with her." Zhu Xiaoer nodded. "Yes, father. Xiaoer understands." "Good girl." Zhu Daniu smiled. Mulan's family was eating at the side. When she heard Zhu Xiaoer's words, Mulan couldn't bear it. Although her brother and sister-in-law were a little weird, the children were innocent. No matter what, Zhu Xiaoer was her niece and called her second aunt. Thus Mulan waved at Zhu Xiaoer. "Come, Xiaoer. Come to second aunt." Zhu Xiaoer looked at Zhu Daniu and asked for Zhu Daniu's opinion. Zhu Daniu patted Zhu Xiaoer's head. "Go, Xiaoer." "Yes." Zhu Xiaoer responded and shyly went to Mulan. She called out to Mulan, "Second aunt, Xiaoer, are you hungry?" Mulan asked Zhu Xiaoer with concern. "Yes." Zhu Xiaoer nodded softly and responded. "Come, then eat at second aunt's place first. Second aunt will get some rice for you." "Okay," Zhu Xiaoer responded in a weak voice. Children weren't like adults, they wouldn't be unreasonable and refuse. If he was hungry, then he was hungry. Since there was a chance to eat, he naturally nodded in agreement. "Second sister-in-law, this is not good." Zhu Daniu asked embarrassedly. After all, they had separated from the family. If they ate Mulan's food, it would be taking advantage of Mulan's family. Mulan smiled and said, "What's wrong with that? It's too much trouble for you. Your family's food was also bought with money," Zhu Daniu said. Mulan smiled and waved her hand. "It's okay, big brother. How much food can a child eat? What's more, Xiaoer is really hungry. Children should eat when they're hungry." Otherwise it wouldn't be good if they starve their stomachs. Ah, thank you, second sister-in-law, Zhu Daniu said gratefully. Big brother, you are too polite. Chow is also my niece. What's wrong with eating a bowl of rice from my family? Mulan said indifferently. These words made Zhu Daniu feel even more uncomfortable. Thinking about how he treated his second sister-in-law's family, he felt that he had gone overboard. They didn't care so much about his family, but he kept talking about small things all day long. As Mulan spoke, she had already scooped a bowl of rice for Zhu Qiaoer and handed it to her. Come Qiaoer, eat. Zhu Qiaoer took it and began to eat. Mulan's family's food was good. Although there wasn't much meat, the dishes she stir-fried had more oil than ordinary people. In addition, Mulan learned some cooking skills from Zhao Yun, so the vegetables she stir-fried tasted very good. Chapter 1192. Zhu Qiaoer ate with relish. Firstly, she was really hungry. Secondly, in Zhu Qiaoer's opinion, Mulan's food was much better than hers. Children were very sensitive to food and would eat a lot if it was delicious. Seeing that Zhu Qiaoer was eating too quickly, Zhu Daniu watched from the side. He was afraid that Zhu Qiaoer would choke, so he said to Zhu Qiaoer, "Qiaoer, eat slower. Don't be in such a hurry." Zhu Qiaoer looked up and glanced at Zhu Daniu. Then she wiped the corner of her mouth and said to Zhu Daniu, "Dad, second aunt's food is really delicious. It's 100 times better than ours. Qiaoer likes it." Zhu Daniu heard Zhu Qiaoer's words and felt a little stuffy. The corner of his mouth twitched and he asked, "Is that so?" "Dad, second aunt's food is really much better than mom's. If only Qiaoer could eat second aunt's food every day," Zhu Qiaoer said with a face full of innocence. Zhu Daniu felt uncomfortable when he heard that. Children wouldn't lie. That must be the truth. He smelled the aroma of his sister-in-law's food. It smelled much better than Madame Qi's food. The corner of his mouth twitched and he said to Zhu Qiaoer, "Then continue eating." Zhu Qiaoer nodded heavily and continued to bury her head and eat happily. Zhu Daniu watched Zhu Qiaoer eat with such relish and couldn't help but swallow a few mouthfuls of saliva. He also wanted to taste Mulan's food. Unfortunately, he was an adult and was too embarrassed to ask Mulan for food. He could only watch from the side. Thinking about it, he felt a little stifled. Why was it that other women were all good, but he was the only one who married such a lousy wife? Otherwise he would be able to eat delicious food like his second aunt. After a while, Zhu Qiaoer swallowed a big bowl of rice into her stomach. She looked like she hadn't had enough and said to Zhu Daniu, "Mom, Qiaoer isn't full yet. I still want to eat." Zhu Daniu frowned slightly and seemed to be in a difficult position. "Didn't you eat a bowl? Why aren't you full?" "Father, Qiaoer is too hungry, so there isn't enough for dinner." Zhu Qiaoer lowered her head, feeling wronged. "You won't be hungry after eating a bowl, right? Your mother will be done in a while. Then you can eat your own food." Zhu Daniu comforted him. "Father, Qiaoer doesn't want to eat her own food. I want to eat second aunt's food. Can Qiaoer eat some more?" Zhu Daniu didn't want to trouble Mulan's family anymore. After all, he had eaten a bowl. It wouldn't be good if he ate more. Thus he said to Zhu Qiaoer, "Qiaoer, one bowl is enough. You can't go overboard and eat so much. Got it?" "Oh." Zhu Qiaoer pouted, feeling wronged. Seeing that Zhu Qiaoer was still staring at her family's dining table, Mulan couldn't bear to see her like this. She called out to Zhu Qiaoer, "It's okay. If Qiaoer wants to eat, second aunt will give you another bowl." "Second aunt, can I really?" Zhu Qiaoer blinked and looked at Mulan. "Of course second aunt has a lot of food. It's enough for you to eat." Chapter 1193. Mulan pursed her lips and smiled at Zhu Daniu. "If the child wants to eat, big brother, just let her eat. She won't be able to eat much. It's not easy for her to eat. It's just a bowl of rice. Don't be so calculative." "But, big brother, don't say, but. Let Qiaoer eat another bowl." As she spoke, Mulan filled Zhu Qiaoer's bowl with rice and added more vegetables into it. Seeing Zhu Qiaoer eating so happily, she felt a little heartache. Thinking about his sister-in-law's children, they were too pitiful. They basically didn't eat well. His sister-in-law's family's food was really bad. There wasn't much oil in the vegetables, so how could the children grow up after eating it? All of the children were as thin as monkeys and didn't grow much taller. Then he looked at his children. Because the food conditions had improved during this period, they ate well. They had also grown taller and stronger. Their complexions had also become much rosier. Unfortunately, they had to live their own lives. After splitting from the family, at most, he could let his nephews and nieces come over for a few meals. He couldn't let them eat every day. In the end, her big brother and sister-in-law's family had to improve their food conditions. At this moment, Zhu Sanlu and Mrs. Zhu came out of the room. Zhu Sanlu muttered, "Mother, why hasn't big sister-in-law finished cooking? I'm about to starve to death." Mrs. Zhu also frowned and muttered, "That's right. This eldest daughter-in-law is too lazy. Who knows what she's busy with all day? She hasn't even finished cooking. Who's going to starve to death?" After muttering, she said to Zhu Daniu, "I say Daniu, if you have time, you should discipline your wife. What time is it now? Isn't this too outrageous?" Zhu Daniu replied faintly, "Mother, I understand. It's good that you understand. Mom, I'm so hungry. I want to eat. I'm so hungry that my head is dizzy. I can't read." Zhu Sanlu pulled Mrs. Zhu's sleeve and said. Old Madame Zhu replied, "Isn't your eldest sister-in-law busy in the room? She'll eat in a while. Isn't Nyang also waiting with an empty stomach? Who asked your sister-in-law to be lazy?" Mrs. Zhu was full of disdain for Mrs. Qi. She deliberately raised her voice so that Mrs. Qi, who was in the kitchen, could hear her. Madame Qi did hear it, and the corners of her mouth twitched. Really, her mother-in-law was too despicable. She was the one who was too lazy to cook, but now she was blaming her. He had never seen such a shameless old woman. Madame Qi couldn't wait to teach Mrs. Zhu a lesson. Unfortunately, her man was protecting Mrs. Zhu now, so she couldn't do it. Madame Qi thought that when she had money, bought new clothes, and dressed herself up, Zhu Daniu would change his mind about her. When he was on her side, she would deal with Mrs. Zhu, and Zhu Daniu wouldn't say anything about her. When that time came, she would teach Mrs. Zhu a lesson. "Mother, eldest sister-in-law didn't cook. Isn't second sister-in-law's food edible? Look at how happy Xiaoer is eating. Mother, I want to eat at second sister-in-law's place too." Zhu Sanlu tugged at Mrs. Zhu's sleeve as he spoke. Then his eyes fell on Mulan's table. Chapter 1194. Mrs. Zhu said matter-of-factly and then called out to Mulan, "Second daughter-in-law, did you hear that? There's still so much food left in your house. If your younger brother-in-law is hungry, hurry up and give him a bowl." Mulan's face darkened when she heard Mrs. Zhu's command. She gave it to Zhu Xiaoer because she was willing. But she would rather give it to a pig than give it to Zhu Sanlu. Thus, she replied unhappily, "Mother, we've already separated from the family. What does it have to do with me whether my younger brother-in-law is hungry or not? I can give the food in my house to whoever I want to eat. Do I need you to command me?" Mulan's attitude made Mrs. Zhu very angry. Mrs. Zhu replied unhappily, "Second daughter-in-law, why are you like this? Didn't you say that there's a lot of food in your house? If you give it to Xiaoer, why don't you give it to my Lu? In any case, Lu is your younger brother-in-law. As his sister-in-law, how can you be so stingy with him? Xiaoer is just a girl. She's a good for nothing. You've already given it to her, so you must give it to your younger brother-in-law today." Mulan didn't know where Mrs. Zhu got this logic from. She sneered and confronted Mrs. Zhu. "Mother, your words are really interesting. If I don't give it to third brother today, what can you do?" You. Second daughter-in-law, is this how you talk to your mother-in-law? You have no manners. Why did our old family Zhu marry a piece of trash like you?" Mulan's brows knitted together and she looked very unhappy. Seeing that his wife was being bullied, Zhu Eru stood up and defended Mulan. "Mother, third brother is a grown man. Why is he competing with Xiaoer, a child? If you give it to Xiaoer, do you have to give it to third brother? You've gone too far by saying that about Mulan. Even if you're a mother-in-law or an elder, you have to be reasonable. You can't bully people for no reason, right?" Old Madame Zhu angrily pointed at Zhu Eru. "Good. This old woman really gave birth to an ungrateful wretch. She painstakingly gave birth to him for 10 months and raised him up with a handful of sh*t in urine. Now that he's married, he forgets his mother and actually treats me like this. I don't want to live anymore. What's the point of living like this?" Zhu Eru's mouth twitched uncontrollably. His mother was really unreasonable. He kept saying these words all day long. If Mrs. Zhu had been a little more reasonable and treated Mulan and her children better, Zhu Eru wouldn't have treated Mrs. Zhu like this. In the end, it was all this old woman's own doing. Zhu Daniu watched from the side. This matter started because of Zhu Xiaoer. His second brother and second sister-in-law had kindly scooped some food for Zhu Xiaoer to eat. He couldn't implicate his second sister-in-law. Thus, he stood up and said to Zhu Taida, "Mother, I don't want to say this, but this matter is indeed your fault. Third brother is a grown man. If he's hungry he should endure it. Aren't I also enduring it? Xiao is a child. Naturally she can't be compared to us adults. When Zhu Daniu said this, Mrs. Zhu snorted softly. You're great now. You're speaking up for your second brother and second sister-in-law. Zhu Daniu's mouth twitched. Mother, I'm not. I'm just speaking the truth. Look at you. You don't even want to hear the truth. You only know how to protect third brother. If this goes on, third brother will definitely be spoiled by you. Chapter 1195. She thought for a moment and put the blame on Madame Qi. Daniu, in the end, isn't it because of your wife? Lazy thing, you still haven't finished cooking. You're starving your third brother. Zhu Daniu could only agree. Yes. Mother, I'll talk to her later. Mulan couldn't be bothered with Madame Zhu and called the family to continue eating. The fragrant smell made Zhu Sanlu salivate. Unfortunately, he could only watch from the side and couldn't eat it. After a while, Madame Qi finished cooking and called the first branch's family to start eating. Madame Qi only made 3 dishes, a plate of stir-fried wild vegetables, a plate of small vegetables, and a plate of green beans. There wasn't much oil in the vegetables. After boiling them with plain water, she dripped 2 drops of sesame oil into them. It didn't look very appetizing. However, everyone was hungry now. Usually it was more or less the same, so they made do with it and started eating. Zhu Daniu picked up a green bean and put it in his mouth. After tasting it, he spat it out. Madame Qi looked at Zhu Daniu in confusion. Xiao's father, what's wrong with you? Why did you spit it out when you were eating? Zhu Daniu glared at Madame Qi. You still have the cheek to say that. Why don't you taste it yourself and see what it is? At this time, Madame Zhu also put a green bean into her mouth and then quickly spat it out. Bah. It's so salty. I say, eldest daughter-in-law, how much salt did you put in? Do you want me to die of saltiness? Madame Qi pursed her lips and felt wronged. I don't know. I was a little anxious just now. I don't know how much salt I put in. Maybe I accidentally put it twice. Madame Qi was nervous and faintly worried that Zhu Daniu would scold her again. Sure enough, Zhu Daniu angrily scolded, What's the use of marrying a woman like you? You didn't cook when we came back, and now that you've cooked, it's so disgusting. How can I eat it? Mrs. Zhu agreed from the side. Isn't that so? Our eldest daughter-in-law is really capable. Even pigs wouldn't want to eat the food that she makes. You put so much salt in the dishes. You're really rich. You're not afraid of wasting it. Madame Qi felt very wronged. I was just being careless. I'll just make do with it. It should be fine, right? This dish is salty, but there are still 2 other dishes. Why don't you try it again? Zhu Daniu's face was still calm. He snorted and tasted the remaining 2 dishes. These 2 dishes were not salty, but they were bland and tasteless. It was impossible to swallow them. Clang. Zhu Daniu slammed his chopsticks on the table. How am I supposed to eat this? It tastes awful. I say, my eldest daughter-in-law, you've been married for so many years. Why is your cooking still so bad? There was no improvement at all. It's useless. Daniu. Mother. My cooking skills have always been like this. No one taught me. Old Madame Zhu angrily said, You still need someone to teach you this? Are you a pig's brain? You've already figured it out by yourself. Tonight's 3 dishes have been wasted by you for nothing. No matter how rich my family Zhu is, I can't afford to be tormented by you. Chapter 1196. The corner of Mrs. Zhu's mouth twitched. She did not expect Madame Qi to retort. You want me to do it? Then why did our family Zhu marry you? You don't even do housework. Do you want us to serve you like an ancestor? Why don't you take a look at yourself? If you can earn money for our family Zhu, then forget it. You have to rely on our family Zhu to support you. You have to be more diligent. Mrs. Zhu lectured Madame Qi angrily. Zhu Daniu said from the side, Mother is right. You're a woman. Didn't we marry you to let you do housework? Which woman doesn't cook at home? Look at second sister-in-law. She's busy earning money in Yang City all day long. When she comes back, she'll prepare the food well. She's busier than you every day, right? When Zhu Daniu said this, Madame Qi responded with an aggrieved voice. What could she say when he compared her to Mulan? Who asked Mulan to be so silly? She was so diligent every day even after earning money. She was not like Mulan. Madame Qi's eyes turned. After thinking for a while, she said to Zhu Daniu, Daniu, if I can earn a lot of money like second sister-in-law, then can you let me do less housework? Can you let mother do the cooking, washing dishes, and washing clothes? Madame Qi was thinking about the barren mountain that she bought. Later Zhao Yun would definitely buy it from her at a high price. Then she would be able to earn a lot of money. Zhu Daniu glanced at Madame Qi. Thinking that Madame Qi was dreaming, he said softly, "If you can earn money like second sister-in-law, then won't we treat you like an ancestor at home? Why would we let you do any work?" Madame Qi blinked and looked at Zhu Daniu expectantly. "Daniu, is what you said true? If I can earn money, then I really don't have to do any work at home?" Without waiting for Zhu Daniu to answer, old Madame Zhu echoed from the side, "I say, eldest daughter-in-law, don't talk nonsense. If you come back with 3 to 5 taels of silver, this old woman will work like a horse for you. You don't have to do anything." Mrs. Zhu said this because she was sure that Madame Qi could not earn that money. Hearing Mrs. Zhu's words, Zhu Daniu nodded in agreement. "Yes, but I don't think about it. You have to earn money first before you can talk about this. It's useless to say it now." Madame Qi's expression. "That's good. She was just waiting to make money from Zhao Yun. Old Madame Zhu and the others had better remember what they said." Just then Zhao Yun came to the door and looked like she was coming in a menacing manner. Mulan thought that Zhao Yun was looking for her, so she stepped forward and asked Zhao Yun, "Yun, why are you looking for me now?" Zhao Yun shook her head at Mulan. "Sister-in-law Mulan, I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for your eldest sister-in-law." Mulan looked at Zhao Yun in confusion. "Yun, why are you looking for my eldest sister-in-law?" Zhao Yun curled her lips and her eyes were cold. "Of course I have something to do with him." Madame Qi saw Zhao Yun coming over. Not only was she not afraid, but she was also a little proud. The more excited Zhao Yun was, the more important this barren mountain was to her. Then she could ask for a higher price and earn more money. By then wouldn't Zhu Daniu treat her well? Chapter 1197. Zhao Yun sneered, "I'm here to deal with that B***tsj. Madame Qi naturally knew that the B***tsj Zhao Yun was referring to was her. She huffed angrily at Zhao Yun. "Zhao Yun, watch your mouth. Who are you calling a B***tsj? Of course I'm talking about you." Zhao Yun sneered and took a few steps forward. When she was in front of Qi Shi, she kicked Qi Shi's stomach a few times. Madame Qi was kicked to the ground all of a sudden and cried out in pain. "Ouch, murder. Ow." Madame Qi lay on the ground and yelled as if she was afraid that no one would know. The more onlookers there were, the better. They would know that Zhao Yun was unreasonable and a bully. Zhu Daniu immediately frowned. Although he didn't treat Madame Qi well, he still had to look at the owner before beating a dog. Zhao Yun hitting Madame Qi like this was a slap to his face. She didn't take him seriously at all. Zhu Daniu pulled Madame Qi up from the ground and asked Zhao Yun, "Why did you hit her? Can't you make things clear? We're from the same village. How can you hit her just like that?" Zhao Yun snorted and said, "Why do I need to reason with a B***tsj? I'm in a bad mood. I just want to hit her." Zhu Daniu's mouth twitched. He felt that things weren't that simple. He knew that Zhao Yun wasn't an unreasonable person. His wife must have done something outside to offend Zhao Yun, so Zhao Yun came to hit her. Thus, he frowned and asked Madame Qi, "Tell me honestly, did you do something wrong to her and offend her?" Madame Qi pursed her lips in grievance. "Daniu, I didn't. I'm your wife. No matter what, you have to protect me. You can't protect an outsider." Zhu Daniu was silent for a moment. What Madame Qi said was right. If his wife was bullied too badly and he, as a husband, stood by and watched, he would be laughed at. So he said to Zhao Yun, "Zhao Yun, you can't be unreasonable. Otherwise we'll go back and argue with Li Zhang." Zhao Yun was angry. What was she afraid of? Let's argue with Li Zhang. But before that, I have to teach her a lesson. With that, Zhao Yun grabbed Madame Qi and kicked her to the ground. She pulled her hair and slapped Madame Qi's face a few times. Ah! Both sides of Madame Qi's face were bleeding and swollen. She screamed miserably as if she was a pig being slaughtered. The Zhu family was dumbfounded by what they saw. They had seen men break ribs when they fought. Now that they saw Zhao Yun teach Madame Qi a lesson, the others were simply too weak. Zhao Yun was ruthless. Not to mention hitting Madame Qi's body, even the onlookers felt the pain when they saw it. Mulan was frightened. She wondered why Zhao Yun was so ruthless. His sister-in-law didn't seem to have done anything. How did she make Zhao Yun so angry? Of course, Mulan knew that Madame Qi must have done something to cross Zhao Yun's bottom line. That was why Zhao Yun was angry. She didn't go forward to stop her. She didn't understand the situation. Based on her understanding of Zhao Yun, she was on Zhao Yun's side. Chapter 1198. It was not because he felt sorry for Madame Qi but because he felt very embarrassed. However, he could not protect his own woman, and he had no way to protect her. Who asked Zhao Yuner to be so awesome? According to Zhao Yuner's attitude, even if she argued with Li Zheng, she was not afraid. It meant that she did not take Li Zheng seriously. Zhao Yuner was so arrogant because she had the right to be arrogant. After all, Zhao Yuner was backed by the heir of the crown prince. Who dared to provoke the heir of the crown prince? Even Li Zheng did not dare to make a fart in front of the heir of the crown prince, let alone make decisions for them. At this moment, Zhu Dainyu could only watch the knight being beaten up by Zhao Yuner, but he could not intervene. It was not worthwhile to offend Zhao Yuner for a lazy woman. Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Sanlu stood aside and did not intend to help at all. Instead they were gloating. Mrs. Zhu felt that Madame Qi needed to be taught a lesson. Coincidentally, Zhao Yuner came over to teach her a lesson, so that Madame Qi would know how to restrain herself. Ah! Madame Qi screamed miserably but she could not resist. She could only bear it passively. In the end, Madame Qi lost a tooth because of Zhao Yuner, and blood came out of her mouth. "Help, Qiaoer's father, come and help me. I'm going to be beaten to death." Madame Qi asked Zhu Dainyu, who was standing aside, for help with a lisp. Zhu Dainyu saw this situation. If he did not intervene, Madame Qi would really be beaten to death. After sighing in his heart, he stood in front of Madame Qi and stopped Zhao Yuner. "Zhao Yuner, you have beaten this person. Are you done now?" Zhu Dainyu asked in a friendly way. Zhao Yuner glanced at Madame Qi on the ground. Seeing her bruised nose and swollen face, she felt much better. "I'm done. However, she'd better be tactful. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that I'll continue to do it myself." Zhu Dainyu's brows twisted together. He looked at Zhao Yuner and then looked at Madame Qi on the ground. Therefore, he pulled Madame Qi to her feet and questioned her coldly. "You bitch, you're still not telling me the truth. Hurry up and tell me clearly, otherwise, see how I'll deal with you." Madame Qi looked at Zhu Dainyu with an aggrieved expression. "Dainyu, it's really nothing." As Madame Qi spoke, she had lost a tooth, so her words were unclear. Some blood even flowed out of her mouth, which looked very disgusting. "If there's nothing, why would I do anything to you? Why didn't he find trouble with anyone else but you?" Madame Qi curled her lips and pulled Zhu Dainyu. She whispered to Zhu Dainyu, "Dainyu, I'll talk to you over there. Listen to my explanation." Seeing Madame Qi's attitude, Zhu Dainyu guessed that something big must have happened, so he nodded. "Okay, hurry up and say it." Madame Qi didn't want to say it at first. She planned to tell Zhu Dainyu after she made some money. Now she had to make it clear. The two of them went to the side and Madame Qi explained the whole thing clearly. When Zhu Dainyu heard this, his brows knitted tightly together. This woman was so careless that she dared to secretly take out 5 taels of silver to buy the wasteland behind his back. Wasn't she looking down on him? Putting aside whether Madame Qi could make money by doing this, her behavior was wrong in Zhu Dainyu's eyes. Chapter 1199. 5 taels of silver was not a small amount. If it was gone, their family Zhu's savings would be gone. How would they live in the future? Zhu Dainyu was slightly shocked when he thought about it. Thus, his displeased gaze landed on Madame Qi and he said to her, "You woman, you've got quite the guts. 5 taels of silver. 5 taels of silver to buy a barren mountain. Why didn't you discuss it with me? Did you decide on your own? Why didn't you clean up the water?" The more Zhu Dainyu thought about it, the angrier he became. It would be fine if they bought ordinary land. This way they could easily sell it. Even if they couldn't sell it, they could at least grow it and make some food. It wouldn't be a loss. How could he sell such a desolate mountain? It was obviously waiting to be wasted in the future. Their family couldn't possibly go up there to grow food, right? Madame Qi saw Zhu Dainyu's angry look and pursed her lips. "Dainyu, isn't it because I discussed it with you? You definitely won't let me buy it, right? Don't be angry. Don't worry. Zhao Yuner, that little b****, must be thinking that we can raise the price of this barren mountain. This way she can spend more money and we can make a lot of money." Zhu Dainyu heard Madame Qi's words and looked thoughtful. He seemed to still be worried and didn't quite believe her. Madame Qi became anxious and continued, "Dainyu, I'm right. Look at that little b****, Zhao Yun. She's so anxious now. It must be because she wants that barren mountain. This way we can raise the price." Zhu Dainyu thought about it again. Zhao Yuner's reaction was indeed like that. Since she came to find trouble with Madame Qi so agitatedly, it meant that Zhao Yuner thought that this barren mountain was indeed important. In that case, Madame Qi was right. They could indeed make Zhao Yun spend more money to buy this barren mountain. Seeing that Zhu Danyu's expression was much better, Madame Qi heaved a heavy sigh of relief in her heart. She was afraid that Zhu Danyu would be angry and do something to her when the time came. Danyu, trust me, I will definitely make money. I'm telling you this because I'm thinking about our future. Otherwise, if I don't tell you anything, I won't dare to make decisions without your permission. Madame Qi looked at Zhu Danyu fawningly. Knowing that Zhu Danyu was like this, she had to coax him well. Zhu Danyu rolled his eyes at Madame Qi and snorted. Don't be complacent too early. If Zhao Yun'er doesn't send the money over, you'll be in trouble. Madame Qi smiled embarrassedly. Danyu, don't worry. She will definitely give us a lot of money. She needs that mountain. Alright, then let's discuss with Zhao Yun'er and see how much she's willing to pay us. Zhu Danyu commanded. Okay, Danyu. Madame Qi answered eagerly. The two of them returned to Zhao Yun'er. At this time, Zhu Danyu stood in front of Madame Qi to protect her. Zhu Danyu stood in front of Madame Qi and said to Zhao Yun'er, I know you came to find trouble with my wife because of the barren mountain. But since we bought it, it's ours. What do you want? Could it be that you want to snatch it from our hands? Zhao Yun'er glanced at Zhu Danyu with a sneer. Sure enough, in front of benefits they were all the same. Zhao Yun'er smiled. Snatch? When did I want to snatch it? I'm just asking you to be sensible. Otherwise you'll regret it. Chapter 1200. Is that so? Zhao Yun'er's lips curled into a smile. That's right, Zhao Yun, I know that you need this barren mountain. If you're willing to pay 20 taels of silver, then we can transfer the mountain to you. When Zhao Yun'er heard this, she only felt that it was funny. Sure enough, they really wanted to extort her. 20 taels of silver, 15 taels of silver directly. Unless she was stupid, she wouldn't let others earn an extra 15 taels of silver for nothing. Seeing Zhu Danyu and Madame Qi's complacent and domineering look, Zhao Yun'er curled her lips and said to Zhu Danyu and Madame Qi, since that's the case, then you can keep the barren mountain. 20 taels of silver, it's more like stealing or robbing. Zhao Yun, what do you mean? Since you want the barren mountain, you're still not willing to pay 20 taels of silver? Zhu Danyu was a little anxious. He was afraid that Zhao Yun'er really didn't want the barren mountain. Otherwise, why would he spend 5 taels of silver to buy it? At this time, Zhu Danyu wasn't sure if Zhao Yun'er deliberately said this to scare him so that it would be easier to bargain. Zhao Yun'er sneered and replied, Do you think that I'm stupid, or do you think that people are stupid? 20 taels of silver to buy a barren mountain? Do I have nothing better to do? Besides, you spent 5 taels of silver to buy it back and I gave you an extra 15 taels of silver for nothing? Do you really think that my family's money can't be spent? Zhao Yun'er, don't you want this barren mountain? Didn't you come to find trouble with me because you care a lot? Since that's the case, then you have to spend more money. Madame Qi was also anxious and spoke incoherently. After speaking, Madame Qi was afraid that Zhao Yun'er would make a move on her again, so she quickly hid behind Zhu Daju. Zhao Yun'er really couldn't take it anymore. How could there be such a shameless person? He sneered and said, You're thinking too much. I didn't come here because of the barren mountain. If you want to keep it, I'll go buy something else. I'm here to teach you a lesson because I don't like you. I'm telling you to be sensible so that you won't play any tricks in front of me in the future. If I find out that you're like this again, I'll continue to teach you a lesson. After Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, she turned around and prepared to leave. Hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Madame Qi's heart thumped. It's over, it's over. Zhao Yun'er really doesn't want this barren mountain anymore? Then what about the 5 taels they spent? Wouldn't that be a waste of time? That won't do. 5 taels of silver was not a small amount. The family Zhu did not have much money left. He couldn't possibly guard a barren mountain, right? Seeing that Zhao Yun'er was really going to leave, Zhu Danyu and Madame Qi hurriedly called out to Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er, you really don't want to buy it? Zhao Yun'er, what do you mean by this? Zhao Yun'er stopped in her tracks and a sarcastic smile hung on her lips. What's wrong? Can't I not buy it? Are you planning to force me to buy it? Zhu Danyu's face was a little stiff. After tugging, he said to Zhao Yun'er, since you want to buy it, you can't buy it at a cheap price. How about this? I don't need 20 taels. I'll sell it to you for 15 taels of silver. And no, 10 taels should be enough, right? I'll give you a discount of half at once. Zhao Yun'er still shook her head. Not to mention 10 taels of silver, even if you sell it to me at the original price, I won't do it. Anyway, our village is near the foot of the mountain. Aren't we afraid that we can't find a piece of land? Do I need to buy it from you? Chapter 1201. Zhao Yun naturally had her own plans. Wanting to swindle money out of her hands was simply a dream. She would not go along with Zhu Dainiu and Madame Qi's wishes. Did they really think that she had to have it? Haha. Now she wanted to see how they were going to sell this barren mountain to her if she was unwilling to buy it. If the villagers in the barren mountain wanted it, they would have bought it long ago. They would not have waited until now. Still, no one wanted to buy it. Because this barren mountain could not grow much food. Even if they bought it, it would be useless. It was not until Zhao Yun'er's figure disappeared that the people in the family Zhu's courtyard came back to their senses. Zhu Dainiu blinked. He thought that Zhao Yun'er would buy it after he offered such a huge price reduction. In the end, Zhao Yun'er rejected it without even thinking. Great, now that Zhao Yun'er did not want it, what else could they do? Did they spend 5 taels of silver to buy a useless thing? Were they going to put it in the village as a decoration? Stupid. They were simply stupid. Zhu Dainiu's brows frowned deeply. He didn't want to earn money from Zhao Yun'er's hands, but instead, he lost his own money. Thus, his cold gaze fell on Madame Qi. Madame Qi was stunned for a moment because she was too surprised. It was completely different from what she had expected. Zhao Yun'er actually did not want to buy it? Then what should she do? When she met Zhu Dainiu's eyes, it was as if he wanted to eat her up. Madame Qi naturally knew why. She smiled and looked at Zhu Dainiu nervously. Dainiu, this. I don't want to. Who knows what Zhao Yun'er is up to? I think Zhao Yun'er is loosening the reins only to grasp them better. She wants us to lower the price to her. Maybe she will wait for a few days. If we don't lower the price, she will naturally come and buy it. After all, there's only this barren mountain in our village. Where else could she go to buy it? Zhu Dainiu felt that Madame Qi was trying to defend herself, even though what she said made sense. At present, he had no way to determine whether Zhao Yun'er really did not want it, or if she was deliberately saying this. If Zhao Yun'er deliberately said this and he lowered the price too much, then he would be at a loss. At this time, it all depended on who was more patient. After thinking for a while, Zhu Dainiu said to Madame Qi, "Well, I'll give you another chance. If Zhao Yun'er doesn't come to buy it in a few days, it means that she really doesn't want it. You'll be in trouble then." After Zhu Dainiu finished speaking, he flung his sleeves and left. Madame Qi wiped the cold sweat off her forehead. She was a little frightened. She started to worry now. If Zhao Yun'er really didn't buy it, then what should she do? The more she thought about it, the more frustrated she felt. I shouldn't be that miserable, right? After Zhao Yun'er went back, she thought about where else she could get a piece of land besides this barren mountain. If it was possible, she would get a piece of land at the foot of the mountain and save herself the trouble. The land at the foot of the mountain had no owner. So whoever mined it would own it. Of course, this kind of land could only be used to grow tea leaves. It was probably impossible to use it to grow food. Therefore, when the time came, she would need to spend some effort to hire some people. The only thing she was afraid of was that after it was mined, other people would be jealous of it and there would be disputes. Chapter 1202. When Zhao Yun'er returned home, Mu Lianfeng was in the house. When he saw Zhao Yun'er panting with anger, he asked with concern. Zhao Yun'er told Mu Lianfeng about what had happened. When Mu Lianfeng heard this, the corners of his mouth curled up. He smiled at Zhao Yun'er and said, "Yun'er, come here." Zhao Yun'er moved closer to Mu Lianfeng and looked at Mu Lianfeng in confusion. "What? Yun'er, give me your hand." Zhao Yun'er was even more confused. She didn't know what Mu Lianfeng was trying to do. However, she still cooperated and took her hand over to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng held Zhao Yun'er's hand and looked at it. Then he asked with concern, "How is it, Yun'er? Does your hand hurt?" Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched. This guy, could it be that he still cares about this? Zhao Yun'er shook her head. "It's all right. It's not me who's in pain. It's someone else." Mu Lianfeng's eyes were still filled with heartache as he muttered to Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er, next time leave the matter of dealing with people to me. You don't have to do it yourself." Zhao Yun'er was amused by Mu Lianfeng. This guy really knew how to put on an act. He was pretending as if he really cared about her. "Okay, next time I'll leave the matter of dealing with people to you." Zhao Yun'er agreed readily. Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun'er sat down opposite each other and said to Zhao Yun'er, "I'm going back to Yang City tomorrow." Zhao Yun'er nodded. Okay. Zhao Yun'er didn't want to ask why Mu Lianfeng went back. After all, Mu Lianfeng had a lot of things to do. He was busy with the imperial court and family matters. "Yes. Take good care of yourself and Dao. I'll be back in a day." Zhao Yun'er responded. One day's time was considered very short. Mu Lianfeng went back and could come back very quickly. If he left for too long she might miss him. Alright, give me a bucket of your tea leaves first. I'll bring it to Helian Chen and let him have a taste of the tea. Let him tell me if he wants to buy it. Zhao Yun'er readily agreed and packed all the tea leaves at home for Mu Lianfeng. If this fellow could send more people away he would let him do so. After all, the people Mu Lianfeng came into contact with were all rich people. If these rich people liked it, they would naturally be eager to order from her. After a good night's sleep, the next morning Mu Lianfeng set off and returned to the heir residence. Zhao Yun'er had nothing to do for the past 2 days. She continued to busy herself with the tea leaves and picked some new tea leaves from the mountains. If there were many people ordering, she would have to sell them in large quantities. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to earn much money. On the other side, in the family Qin village, Zhao Ping continued to be tormented by Xuanhuan that night. Xuanhuan seemed to have fallen in love with Zhao Ping. It didn't take much effort for him to torment her for an entire night. Zhao Ping felt comfortable, so she didn't reject him. However, the consequence of tormenting her for an entire night was that she couldn't get up the next morning. Zhao Ping wanted to slack off and sleep, but Mu Chunfang wasn't so easy to deal with. Early in the morning he shouted at the top of his lungs in the courtyard, "Ping, hurry up and come out. Ping, why aren't you getting up? How can a wife be so lazy? What time is it? Why aren't you getting up to help me? Do you want to wait until the sun is high up in the sky?" Chapter 1203. Ping, girl, how dare you not listen to me? I'm going to come in and give you a good thrashing so that you'll be obedient. Zhao Ping was already very sleepy and was sleeping like a dead pig. When she heard Mu Chuanfang's voice outside the room, she felt so annoyed. She had been tormented the whole night and did not sleep well. What was wrong with sleeping a little more in the morning? If she were to wake up now, she would probably doze off and not be able to wake up for the rest of the day. Hence, no matter how much Mu Chunfang shouted outside, Zhao Ping ignored him. She continued to cover her head with the blanket and slept soundly. After being tormented, she could suddenly sleep. She felt that she was sleeping soundly and comfortably. Zhao Ping, who was cooped up in the blanket, even started to snore loudly and saliva started to drip from the corner of her mouth. Mu Chunfang saw that Zhao Ping did not move even after he shouted for a long time. His eyebrows knitted together uncontrollably. Could it be that this Zhao Ping was deaf? After shouting for so long, she still did not manage to call out to anyone. It was really infuriating. Hence, Mu Chunfang put down the things in his hands and kicked open the door to Zhao Ping's room. He then entered the room. After entering, he realized that the snoring was as loud as thunder. Zhao Ping was hugging the blanket and sleeping soundly. Mu Chunfang was instantly angry. This wretched girl was really a pig. He had shouted for so long, but she did not respond and continued to sleep in the room. Wasn't this too much? Mu Chunfang rushed to Zhao Ping's bedside and lifted Zhao Ping's blanket. After this, Zhao Ping was woken up by Mu Chunfang. Zhao Ping looked pleadingly at Mu Chunfang and said to Mu Chunfang, "Mother, what are you doing? Just let me sleep for a while." Mu Chunfang snorted softly and said, "Sleep, sleep, sleep. You only know how to sleep. It's already so late and you still don't want to get up. You don't know how to help out at home. Do you really think you're a rich missy who needs to be waited on?" Zhao Ping rubbed her eyes. As she did not sleep well, she was still very sleepy when she opened her eyes. She yawned a few times and said to Mu Chunfang, "Mother, why are you like this? You just sleep, really? I'm too tired. Let me sleep for a while." As she spoke, Zhao Ping continued to tug at the blanket. She wanted to cover herself with it and sleep. Mu Chunfang was not willing to let her go. She pointed at Zhao Ping and continued to scold her. "Sleep, sleep, sleep like a pig. If he didn't get up, didn't that mean he didn't want to work? You lazy woman, see how I'll deal with you." As she spoke, Mu Chunfang picked up the laundry hammer in the corner and hit Zhao Ping's body. Zhao Ping was hit so hard that her body hurt. She immediately woke up and sat up from the bed. She shouted, "Mother, what are you doing? Why are you hitting me?" Mu Chunfang snorted coldly and scolded, "Why are you hitting me? See if I don't hit you to death, you lazy woman. Who told you to be lazy? Try to be lazy again." Zhao Ping was a little helpless. She could only get up and say to Mu Chunfang, "Mother, stop hitting me." "I'll get up. I'll get up. Hurry up and get to work." Mu Chunfang shouted from the innermost part of the room. "Got it, mother." Zhao Ping replied weakly. Chapter 1204. Due to a lack of sleep, her head felt heavy and dizzy at this moment. It was very uncomfortable. When she walked to the courtyard, she couldn't help but yawn. Mu Chunfang glanced at Zhao Ping'er's appearance and was still very angry. Look at other people's wives. She didn't even need her mother-in-law to remind her to wake up early in the morning, wash clothes, cook and feed the chickens and ducks. Look at his own wife. She slept until God knows what time she would wake up. She even needed her mother-in-law to wake her up. She couldn't do much household chores at all. Why was it that they were both wives but the difference was so big? Zhao Ping'er rubbed her eyes and walked to Mu Chunfang. She asked Mu Chunfang, "Mother, what should I do?" Zhao Ping'er also didn't know what she should do, so she ran to Mu Chunfang to ask. Mu Chunfang's brows furrowed. He really didn't know what to say to Zhao Ping'er. This idiot. She even needed others to guide her. If he didn't guide her, wouldn't she know how to do it? He pointed at Zhao Ping'er with some displeasure. Can't you use a broom to sweep the chicken and duck feces on the ground? The entire courtyard is so dirty and smelly. I'm old. My waist hurts badly when I bend down to sweep the floor. You're a young person. If you don't help to sweep, are you going to rely on an old woman like me? Zhao Ping'er glanced at the ground. It was really dirty. The family Qin reared 10 to 20 chickens and ducks. These chickens and ducks were in a free-range state, so the courtyard would be very dirty every day. Because there was chicken and duck feces everywhere, if they weren't cleaned up in time, the smell would be especially unpleasant. However, cleaning up the chicken and duck feces was really very disgusting. Just looking at it made one want to vomit. Early in the morning, one's appetite was completely ruined by it. Since Mu Chunfang had spoken, Zhao Ping'er did not dare to disobey. She could only nod and reply, "Mother, I understand. I'll get it done right away." Zhao Ping'er picked up a dustpan and a broom and began to clean up the chicken and duck feces in the yard. He cleaned it again and again, pinched his nose again and again. It was so smelly. After cleaning up, Zhao Ping'er looked at the half dustpan full of feces and was about to throw it far away. However, she was stopped by Mu Chunfang. "Ping'er girl, where are you going?" When Zhao Ping'er saw Mu Chunfang's expression, she seemed a little unhappy, so she replied weakly, "Mother, I'm just going to dump chicken poop. Doesn't it stink?" I say, little girl, are you stupid? You didn't dump the things that should be dumped, but you went to dump the things that shouldn't be dumped. Zhao Yuner frowned and looked at Mu Chunfang uncomprehendingly. She asked, "Mother, what's the use of keeping this chicken poop? Why is it useless? It's very useful." "What? You wretched girl, you don't have any knowledge at all. Quickly put it away for me. You can use it as fertilizer in the vegetable garden. Aren't the vegetables at home all watered with feces? Otherwise, do you think they can grow so big and so well?" Zhao Ping'er replied weakly, "Oh, I see. Mother, then I'll keep it." Mu Chunfang's expression eased a little, and he replied indifferently. Zhao Ping'er followed Mu Chunfang's instructions and poured the contents of the dustpan into a small vat in the vegetable garden. The vat already contained the chicken and duck feces that Mu Chunfang had previously stored. Chapter 1205. Even though it was a good fertilizer, it still made people want to vomit. Zhao Ping'er hurriedly took the broom and dustpan and rushed back to the courtyard. Just as she was about to get some water to wash her hands, she realized that the chickens and ducks in the courtyard had come out. They were pooping all over the ground in the courtyard. Zhao Ping'er's anger instantly flared up. These damn chickens and ducks. They were really pooping all over the courtyard again. Once the courtyard was dirty, Mu Chunfang would let her clean it up properly. She didn't want to do such a disgusting thing. Hence, Zhao Ping'er ran towards the flock of chickens and ducks and kicked them all over the place. As she kicked, she shouted, "Hurry up and leave, hurry up and leave. What are you waiting for? There's a place you can go, but you just have to run into the courtyard." After being chased away by Zhao Ping'er, the chickens and ducks were instantly scared out of their wits and didn't dare to stay in the courtyard any longer. However, because of Zhao Ping'er's actions, the chickens and ducks were also scared out of their wits and cried out loudly. At this time, Mu Chunfang was cooking in the house. When he heard the commotion outside, he quickly stuck his head out to take a look. It was fine if he didn't take a look, but once he did, he was almost angered to death by Zhao Ping'er. When Mu Chunfang saw that Zhao Ping'er actually chased away the chickens and ducks in the courtyard and scared them out of their wits, he didn't know if the chickens and ducks would dare to come back, so he scolded Zhao Ping'er. "I say, little girl Ping'er, what are you doing?" "Mother, I'm chasing away the chickens and ducks in the courtyard." Zhao Ping'er didn't think much of it, so she replied nonchalantly. Mu Chunfang's face was cold and he questioned Zhao Ping'er again. "Chasing away the chickens and ducks? Why are you chasing away the chickens and ducks for no reason? Did I get in your way by staying in the courtyard? Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said, Mother, these chickens and ducks are very annoying. You also saw it. They are pooping everywhere in the courtyard. Not to mention the stench, I have to clean it up later. It was too disgusting. If they didn't stay in the yard, they wouldn't be able to take a dump. I won't have to go through the trouble of sweeping the courtyard. Hearing Zhao Pinger's words, Mu Chuanfang's face continued to darken. This Zhao Ping, I don't know what to say about her. Laziness is laziness. You sure know how to find so many excuses. You chased the chickens away and didn't dare to return to the courtyard. I think the hens are going to lay eggs soon, so how would you dare to return to the courtyard? How can you lay eggs in the chicken coop? Mu Chunfang scolded angrily. The hens raised in the countryside would always return to the chicken coop when they laid eggs. Unless they couldn't return to the chicken coop, then they would lay eggs outside. With Zhao Pinger's actions, the chickens would be too afraid to go back and lay eggs on the grass. They would definitely not be able to find the eggs when they returned. In the olden days, the villagers were poor. Eggs were a good thing and their families couldn't bear to eat them. How could they let her waste them? This Zhao Pinger was simply too stupid. When Zhao Pinger heard Mu Chuanfang's words, she couldn't help but frown. She seemed to have realized her mistake and looked at Mu Chunfang guiltily. She was very worried and knew that Mu Chunfang would probably scold her again. Mother? I didn't know. If I knew, I definitely wouldn't have chased them away. Zhao Ping weakly defended herself. Chapter 1206. Mother. Can you not talk about me like that? Zhao Ping said, feeling wronged. It wasn't as if she didn't want to do the chores at home. But after she did it, she accidentally did something wrong and she was scolded like that. If she knew that she shouldn't have done the chores, she would be scolded anyway. Oh, you can't even talk about it? Do you think you're the daughter of a wealthy family? Which mother-in-law doesn't miss their daughter-in-law? As Mu Chunfang spoke, she walked in front of Zhao Ping and poked Zhao Pinger's forehead with her finger. Zhao Ping felt a wave of pain. She gritted her teeth and cursed Mu Chunfang in her heart. But on the surface she still agreed. What else could she do? Mu Chunfang was her mother-in-law after all. Mother, what do we do now? Will our chickens come back to lay eggs? Zhao Pinger asked. Mu Chunfang glared at Zhao Pinger. You still have the cheek to ask. Hurry up and get a small bowl of rice and call the chickens and ducks back to eat. Zhao Pinger replied weakly, Oh, mother, I got it. After Zhao Pinger finished speaking, she followed Mu Chuanfang's instructions and got a bowl of rice. She called out to the chickens and ducks, imitating how Liang Jinxiao usually called out to the chickens. When Zhao Pinger called out to them, the chickens and ducks outside ran over eagerly and started to eat chicken feed. Zhao Pinger saw that the chickens and ducks had returned and heaved a sigh of relief. But she was still worried. These chickens and ducks were so good at pooping that they would definitely get dirty again. After Mu Chunfang took a look and confirmed that the chickens and ducks were fine, she returned to the kitchen and continued to work. Ping, after you're done with the chickens, hurry up and come to the kitchen to work with me. Zhao Ping nodded and replied, Mother, I know. Just as Zhao Pinger was about to enter the kitchen, she saw a beautiful figure walking towards their house. Zhao Ping felt that this figure was somewhat familiar. She took a closer look and saw clearly. Weren't these people Zhao Xinhui? Zhao Ping furrowed her brows. Her aunt was here. Why did he come to her house? In any case, it was definitely nothing good. Thinking of Qin Yuan's affection for Zhao Xinhui, Zhao Ping felt jealous. No way. Anyway, she couldn't let her aunt seduce Qin Yuan again. Thus, before Zhao Xinhui reached the family Qin's courtyard, Zhao Ping rushed over angrily. She rushed in front of Zhao Xinhui and asked Zhao Xinhui, Aunt, why did you come over for no reason? Did you come to my house to seduce my big brother Yuan? Hurry up and leave, hurry up and leave. Zhao Xinhui looked at Zhao Ping as if she was looking at an idiot. After frowning in disgust, she said to Zhao Ping, Why? Could it be that I can't come? It's none of your business. I'm not here to look for you. Zhao Xinhui was a little arrogant in front of Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was even angrier. You. Zhao Ping pointed at Zhao Xinhui. What are you talking about? Ping, lass, I'm your aunt and your elder. What are you trying to do by pointing at me like this? You really don't know any rules. Zhao Xinhui snorted softly and continued walking towards the family Qin's courtyard. Zhao Ping was not willing to let Zhao Xinhui go. If Qin Yuan saw this, they might even get involved with Zhao Xinhui again. Chapter 1207. Not allowed to go? Why can't I go? It's not your home. Seriously? Zhao Xinhui snorted and nudged Zhao Ping'er. I married over, so this is my home. If I don't allow you to go, then you can't go. Zhao Ping'er said righteously. As she spoke, she stood in front of Zhao Xinhui and blocked Zhao Xinhui, not allowing Zhao Xinhui to leave. Are you crazy? Who do you think you are? Zhao Xinhui frowned and said to Zhao Ping'er, Auntie, who are you scolding? You're saying that I'm crazy, but I'm saying that you're shameless. You're just a shameless girl who came to my in-laws' house. Don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. You only know how to seduce my big brother Yuan. Zhao Xinhui sneered and stared at Zhao Ping'er. Zhao Ping'er, if you treasure Qin Yuan, then so be it. Don't think that everyone is like you. If I want to be with Qin Yuan, do I need to seduce him? Won't he just throw himself at me? What Zhao Xinhui said was the truth, and Zhao Ping'er naturally understood it very well in her heart. However, she could not accept such a fact. When she thought of how reluctant Qin Yuan was to leave Zhao Xinhui, Zhao Ping'er felt a wave of jealousy in her heart. When she met Zhao Xinhui's slightly smug eyes, Zhao Ping'er angrily waved her claws and swung them at Zhao Xinhui's face. It was because of Zhao Xinhui's face that Qin Yuan would miss her. If he did not have this face, Qin Yuan naturally would not think about it. When Zhao Xinhui saw that Zhao Ping'er had gone crazy, she quickly dodged and said angrily to Zhao Ping'er, Zhao Ping'er, are you crazy? What are you doing? You shameless b*tch. Look at how I've scratched your face. How are you going to seduce my big brother Yuan? Zhao Ping'er shouted. Zhao Xinhui hurriedly ran to the family Qin's courtyard. Zhao Xinhui's voice wasn't low. Hearing Zhao Xinhui's voice, Qin Yuan, who was in the room, thought that he was hallucinating. However, after listening carefully, he found that it was still Zhao Xinhui's voice. Did Zhao Xinhui really come to his house? Could it be that they were looking for him? Had she suddenly thought it through and decided not to marry that young Master Meng? Was she here to tell him about it? This meant that he had a place in Zhao Xinhui's heart. She cared about him. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come to look for him. If that was the case, the Qin Yuan would not blame Zhao Xinhui. As long as Zhao Xinhui changed her mind, he would definitely be willing to be with her when he had the ability. Qin Yuan climbed down from the bed agitatedly. He didn't look as weak as he did before. Now that Zhao Xinhui was here, he seemed to be abnormally energetic. Qin Yuan hurriedly came out of the room to see if it was really Zhang Xinhui. When he came out and saw her, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. It really was her. Zhao Ping'er was wearing a beautiful dress today. She was even prettier than before. Compared to that ugly Zhao Ping'er, she was like heaven and earth. Qin Yuan's gaze was instantly attracted to Zhao Xinhui. At this moment, Zhao Ping'er rushed over and looked like she was about to hit Zhao Xinhui. Qin Yuan's brows were instantly filled with anger. What was this Zhao Ping'er doing? How dare she hit Zhao Xinhui? She was too much. Chapter 1208. Zhao Ping'er, what are you doing? Qin Yuan berated her fiercely. Zhao Ping'er was originally in the midst of chasing after him, but Qin Yuan's sudden appearance stunned her. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping'er saw that Qin Yuan was angry. She looked at Qin Yuan nervously, afraid that Qin Yuan would scold her. Zhao Ping'er, you vicious woman. You really beat up anyone you catch. You even treat your aunt like this. At the very least, your aunt is your elder. Qin Yuan reprimanded her angrily. Then he looked at Zhao Xinhui with concern and asked Zhao Xinhui, Aunt, how are you? Are you hurt? Seeing Qin Yuan's reprimand and concern for Zhao Xinhui, Zhao Ping'er felt a strong sense of jealousy rising in her heart. Her aunt, this b*t. As long as she appeared, Qin Yuan's gaze would always be on her. Big brother Yuan. It's all because my aunt came over. She wanted to seduce you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made a move. Big brother Yuan, you mustn't be charmed by her. You know what kind of woman she is. Zhao Ping'er shouted in front of Qin Yuan, afraid that Qin Yuan's soul would be seduced by Zhao Xinhui again. Zhao Ping'er, what nonsense are you spouting? If you dare to spout nonsense again, do you believe that I won't tear your mouth apart? Qin Yuan said angrily. Seeing how Qin Yuan was so protective of Zhao Xinhui, Zhao Ping'er knew that it was useless no matter how much she said. She might as well shut up now to prevent Qin Yuan from getting angry. Big brother Yuan, hurry up and leave. Don't hang around in front of me. I feel annoyed just looking at you. Qin Yuan complained. When he saw Zhao Ping'er, it was as if he had seen something filthy. The good impression that he had built up with Zhao Ping'er with great difficulty was completely wiped out by Zhao Xinhui's arrival. Zhao Ping pouted, feeling wronged. Oh. Zhao Ping reluctantly walked to the kitchen. She was worried about the situation in Xuanhuan. After Xuanhuan finished scolding Zhao Ping, he turned to Zhao Xinghui with a gentle look on his face. Auntie, why did you come to our house today? Are you here for me? Xuanhuan asked excitedly. Zhao Xinghui nodded. Yes, I'm here for you. Hearing Zhao Xinghui's words, Xuanhuan became even more excited. Is that so, Auntie? Xuanhuan rubbed his hands together. His originally pale face became much rosier. Yes. Zhao Xinghui nodded. Xuanhuan smiled shyly and asked, Auntie, what did you come here for? Actually, it's nothing much. I just need your help. Zhao Xinghui said calmly. What is it, Auntie? Tell me. If I can help, I'll definitely help. Xuanhuan said excitedly. Actually, it's nothing much. I just need you to ask Zhao Ping if she can lend me her wedding dress. That girl is very stingy. I went to ask her to lend it to me, but she refused. So I can only come to you. If you ask her, she'll probably agree to it. Zhao Xinghui knew very well that it was better to come to Xuanhuan than to beg Zhao Ping humbly. After all, even if he begged Zhao Ping would still refuse. However, it was easy to talk to Xuanhuan. Zhao Ping was very afraid of Xuanhuan. As long as Xuanhuan agreed, what could Zhao Ping say? Chapter 1209. It turned out that Zhao Xinghui had come to him not because she didn't want to get married anymore and wanted to be with him, but because she wanted to borrow Zhao Ping's wedding gown. Hence, it was still impossible for him and Zhao Xinghui to be together. He suddenly felt a sense of emptiness in his heart. It was very uncomfortable. However, in front of Zhao Xinghui, Xuanhuan couldn't get angry at all. He was afraid that he would make Zhao Xinghui unhappy. At the end of the day, he still wanted to be with Zhao Xinghui. If he went overboard at this time, Zhao Xinghui would give up on him. Then, it would be even more impossible for him to be with Zhao Xinghui in the future. Seeing that Xuanhuan didn't say anything, Zhao Xinghui thought that Xuanhuan was unhappy, so she acted coquettishly and begged, Can you please let me borrow Pinger's wedding gown? I just want to be a little more glamorous when I get married. I can't let people look down on me, right? Xuanhuan, if you like me and want my best interests, you definitely can't bear to see me get married in such a shabby manner. After Zhao Xinghui finished speaking, Xuanhuan was too embarrassed to say anything, so he stammered, Well, Xuanhuan, can you do it or not? Just say something. Don't dawdle like this, okay? Zhao Xinghui said impatiently. She thought to herself that Xuanhuan was really too stingy. He was a grown man, but he couldn't even lend her a wedding gown. Xuanhuan was afraid that Zhao Xinghui would really get angry, so he frowned and replied, Auntie, it's not that I don't want to lend it to you, but this wedding gown belongs to Zhao Ping. She has to agree to it herself, right? Zhao Xinghui rolled her eyes at Xuanhuan. Zhao Ping is already married to you. Don't tell me you can't even order her around? Then what's the use of a grown man like you? After being scolded by Zhao Xinghui, Xuanhuan lowered his head, looking a little embarrassed. Don't you and you? Can't you just say something? If you can't, then I'm leaving. I don't have time to waste with you. Zhao Xinghui said angrily. Xuanhuan hurriedly pulled Zhao Xinghui back. Annie, don't leave. I didn't say no. Let me talk to Zhao Ping. But can you promise me on one condition? Zhao Xinghui frowned when she saw that Xuanhuan was trying to negotiate with her. She replied, Conditions? What condition? You just say it first. Annie, it's nothing. Just, can you give me a kiss? Just the small kisses, you know that I like you, but... As Xuanhuan spoke, he lowered his eyes, looking a little disappointed. When Zhao Xinghui heard Xuanhuan's condition, she rolled her eyes. She felt that it wasn't a difficult thing, so she agreed without hesitation. Sure, a kiss, it's not a big deal. With that, Zhao Ping hurriedly kissed Xuanhuan on the cheek. With a smack, Xuanhuan's heart was stirred by Zhao Ping's kiss. Zhao Ping was in the kitchen. She couldn't help but poke her head out to take a look. When she saw this scene, she almost exploded in anger. This is too much. B*TCH. How shameless. She seduced my man in broad daylight and even kissed him shamelessly. Zhao Ping muttered under her breath. If Xuanhuan hadn't been standing by the side, Zhao Ping would have rushed up to Zhao Xinghui and ripped Zhao Xinghui's mouth apart. Chapter 1210. Zhao Ping didn't get angry. After a while, she heard Xuanhuan yelling at the top of his lungs. Zhao Ping come out. Zhao Ping'er walked over to Qin Yuan with a face full of resentment. Following Qin Yuan, she asked, "Big brother Yuan, why did you call me out?" Qin Yuan instructed indifferently, "Take out your wedding dress and lend it to your aunt for a day." After Zhao Ping'er heard Qin Yuan's words, she was so angry that her lungs almost exploded. She thought that Qin Yuan would say something. She didn't expect him to ask her to lend her wedding dress to Zhao Xinhui. She knew that Zhao Xinhui definitely didn't come over for good. Now, it seemed like she had bragged in front of Qin Yuan and directly asked Qin Yuan to lend her wedding dress to Zhao Xinhui. Her aunt was really too much. What right did she have to treat her like this? "Big brother Yuan, this is my wedding dress. I don't want to lend it to my aunt." Zhao Ping'er pouted. "You don't want to lend it?" Qin Yuan's brows instantly furrowed, and he looked very unhappy. Zhao Ping'er nodded resolutely. "Yes, I won't lend it to you. I won't lend it to anyone but my aunt." In any case, she couldn't let her aunt get away with it. She just couldn't let this *TCH have her way. "Qin Yuan, that last Ping'er said she doesn't want to lend it to you. Look, she doesn't even listen to a man like you. She doesn't give a damn about you at all." Qin Yuan's heartbreak would spread like wildfire. When Qin Yuan heard this, his face instantly darkened. He said coldly to Zhao Ping'er, "If you don't lend it to me today, see how I'll deal with you." "Big brother Yuan?" Zhao Ping'er looked at Qin Yuan with an aggrieved expression. Why did she have to lend her things to her aunt? "Don't you understand what I'm saying? Hurry up and bring me your wedding dress." Qin Yuan said as he pushed Zhao Ping'er hard. Zhao Ping'er lost her balance and fell. Her butt hit a stone on the ground and she cried out in pain. However, Qin Yuan didn't feel sorry for her at all. Instead, he continued to order Zhao Ping'er around. "Why are you still lying on the ground? Why don't you go now?" Zhao Ping'er met Qin Yuan's angry eyes and didn't dare to make a sound. "Big brother Yuan, I'll go get it now." As he spoke, he struggled to get up from the ground and limped towards his room. After a while, he took out his wedding dress and handed it to the Qin Yuan. "Big brother Yuan." "Here," Zhao Ping'er said weakly. At this moment, her heart was bleeding. Her big brother Yuan was too much. She was his wife now. How could he side with another woman and not consider her feelings at all? Qin Yuan took the wedding dress from Zhao Ping'er's hands and handed it to Zhao Xinhui. "Aunt, here. This is the wedding dress. Take it." Zhao Xinhui took it happily. At the same time, she smirked at Zhao Ping'er. She said sarcastically, "Ping'er, didn't you say that you wouldn't lend it to me? Look, you're still lending it to me now? Since you're going to lend it to me sooner or later, why make me go through the trouble of making an extra trip?" "You?" Zhao Ping'er glared at Zhao Xinhui and bit her lower lip. Seeing Zhao Xinhui's smug look, she became even angrier. *TC. She'd better wait and see. Chapter 12:11. Zhao Xinhui completely ignored the look in Zhao Ping'er's eyes. After getting the wedding gown she wanted, she didn't want to waste any more time in the family Qin. Instead, she bid farewell to Qin Yuan. "Since little Ping has lent me the gown, I'll leave first." Qin Yuan felt that she had only stayed with Zhao Xinhui for a few minutes. She didn't expect Zhao Xinhui to leave so soon. She was very reluctant to part with her and hurriedly said to Zhao Xinhui, "Little aunt, aren't you tired after such a long journey? Why don't you take a rest at my house and go back after dinner? I'll ask my mother to cook more delicious food for you." Zhao Xinhui asked softly in her heart. The family Qin was so poor. It would be strange if they had delicious food. Why don't I go back by myself? When I go back, I can ask my mother to cook delicious food for me. Because of the generous betrothal gifts sent by young Master Meng, Zhao Xinhui ate meat for every meal at home these days. Her life was so good that she didn't have to stay at the family Qin. Therefore, Zhao Xinhui waved her hand at Qin Yuan and said, "It's okay. I'll go back. I'm not tired. I rented an ox cart to come here. They're still waiting for me. I'll take the ox cart back later." The disappointment on Qin Yuan's face deepened. "Little aunt, are you really not going to stay for dinner?" Qin Yuan knew that after Zhao Xinhui went back this time, she didn't know when she would be able to see Zhao Xinhui again. She was reluctant to part with her. She only hoped that she could stay with Zhao Xinhui for a while longer and see Zhao Xinhui a few more times. This way she would be more reluctant to part with Zhao Xinhui. No, you guys eat. I'll leave first," Zhao Xinhui said. She was too lazy to argue with Qin Yuan and hurriedly ran out of the family Qin's courtyard. Even after Zhao Xinhui's figure disappeared, Qin Yuan still looked reluctant. "Big brother Yuan." Zhao Ping'er mumbled jealously. Why are you calling me? Hurry up and get busy in the kitchen. Xuanhuan said to Zhao Ping fiercely. Then he dragged his weak body into the room. The Shuilan village was very lively, because Zhao Xinhui held a joyous occasion. Early in the morning the sound of firecrackers could be heard, crackling non-stop. Young Master Meng's wedding reception could be said to be very grand. Many people were arranged to come. For young Master Meng's wealth, this kind of extravagance was nothing. But for the villagers, they had never seen such luxurious palanquins and horses. He felt that Zhao Xinhui was really lucky to be able to climb up to such a rich family. She directly flew out of the mountain nest and became a phoenix. It really made everyone envious. Many people in the village were discussing. During this period of time, old Zhao's family had joyous occasions year after year. It made people jealous. How long had it been? The two unmarriageable ladies in the family were married off one after another. Although Zhao Pinger's family was a little inferior, she had married a normal person. Moreover, Qin Yuan's appearance was pretty. As for Zhao Xinhui, it was needless to say. After marrying a rich man, she could be said to have a good life in the future. She did not need to live such a hard life as a villager. There were even many rumors that old Zhao's family had a good ancestral grave and protected their descendants. Therefore, each of them had a better life than the other. Chapter 12:12. Zhao Yun'er was even better. She had a relationship with the heir of the crown prince, which was better than young Master Meng. Sigh, old Zhao's ancestral grave is emitting smoke. We can't even be envious. Isn't that so? No matter how hard we work and how good our luck is, it's not as good as their ancestors. Old Zhao's family doesn't have ordinary happy events. They are all very happy events. Let's not talk about the children's marriages. I heard that old Zhao's eldest grandson went directly to the capital to study this year. He will definitely pass the exam and come back as a high-ranking official. TSK. Where in the surrounding villages can a high-ranking official come from? Old Zhao's family is amazing. Yes. It's a pity that we can't think of it. We can't even be envious. We can only ask a feng shui master to come over and take a look at our ancestral grave. Let's see if it can be like old Zhao's family. Happy events are coming one after another. I wouldn't have thought of it if you didn't mention it. I'll also ask a feng shui master to take a look. Ever since my father was buried, my family has been unlucky. Let's see if our ancestral grave can improve our luck. That's for sure. Hurry up. This matter can't be delayed. Yes. I know. I'll ask around tomorrow and find out where I can invite a feng shui master. In the courtyard of old Zhao's house, the people who came to attend the wedding banquet sat together and chattered about it. They talked about the matter in an extremely mysterious way. However, the villagers were superstitious and felt that these rumors were very reasonable. Otherwise, they couldn't think of any reason why old Zhao's family would suddenly have a change of fortune. There were so many happy events in a year. They probably couldn't find a single family in the surrounding villages. In Zhao Xinhui's room, Zhao Xinhui was dressing herself up in front of the mirror. After applying rouge and face powder, wearing jewelry and wearing Zhao Pinger's wedding dress, Zhao Xinhui was more gorgeous than usual. She looked delicate and beautiful like a great beauty. Not to mention the men, even the women in the room couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. This was especially true for the other branches. Seeing Zhao Xinhui like this, they felt very uncomfortable in their hearts. Especially Li Chuang and Zhao Jing'er. Originally, Zhao Jing'er and young Master Zheng's marriage was settled. She had given young Master Zheng such good conditions, which was considered very good. However, compared to Zhao Xinhui, it seemed insignificant. After all, young Master Meng's family was much better than young Master Zheng's. Zhao Jing'er thought that since her aunt was older than her and couldn't get married at her age, she should marry someone with poor conditions. Who knew that Zhao Xinhui was so lucky? Seeing that Zhao Xinhui was gorgeously dressed, with a golden bracelet on her wrist, a golden hairpin in her hair, and a large round pearl around her neck, the jealousy in her heart grew stronger. Young Master Zheng did not give her such a good thing. Why was it that even her aunt was able to marry better than her? Li Chuang stood at the side and couldn't help but roll her eyes. Aren't you dressed up to seduce people like a vixen? Zhao Jing'er poked Li Chuang and nagged in Li Chuang's ear. Mother, keep your voice down. Don't let aunt hear you. Li Chuang didn't care. So what if she hears? What's there to be afraid of? Anyway, I'm telling the truth. I'm not talking nonsense. Chapter 12:13. At the end of the day she was still very envious of her aunt. At least he didn't marry her aunt so that she could give birth to a child. Of course, it was because young Master Zheng married her so that she could give birth to a child. If she couldn't give birth to a son for young Master Zheng, her fate in the future could be said to be very miserable. Unlike her aunt, it didn't matter whether she could give birth to a child or not. Young Master Zheng still sent all these good things over. Seeing Zhao Xinhui dressed so luxuriously, Zhao Jing'er felt very upset. Seeing what Zhao Jing'er was thinking, Li Chuanying hurriedly comforted Zhao Jing'er. Jing'er, don't be fooled by how pretty your aunt is. It's useless. She's still a little younger now and can catch young Master Meng's eye. Just you wait. When she's older and her face isn't so pretty anymore, let's see if young Master Zheng will still treasure her then. He'll probably drive her back to our hometown. But Jing'er, you're different. If you can give birth to a child for young Master Meng, it'd be best if you can give birth to a chubby little boy. Then your status in young Master Meng's family will be consolidated in the future. No matter whether you'll grow old and ugly in the future, as long as you have a child, the Meng family will treat you well. After being comforted by Li Chuanying, Zhao Jing'er thought about it and agreed. Young Master Meng was interested in her aunt's face, while young Master Zheng was interested in her giving birth to a child for him so that he could carry on the Zheng family's bloodline. People would grow old and ugly, so giving birth to a child was more secure. Zhao Jing'er's expression softened a little. She nodded at Li Chuanying and said, "Mother, I understand." Li Chuanying chuckled in response. It's good that you understand." After Zhao Xinhui was done with her makeup, she deliberately asked the people in the room, "How is it? Do I look good like this?" Zhao Xinhui grinned and looked at herself in the mirror. She was very satisfied, but she also hoped to get the affirmation of the others in the room. That was how people were. They liked to be praised. Only then would they feel a sense of accomplishment. Xuanhuan, who was standing at the side, praised Zhao Xinhui to the heavens. "She's beautiful, of course she's beautiful. My daughter is as beautiful as a flower. Those who don't know would think that she's a fairy who has descended to the mortal world. If young Master Meng lifts the red veil at night and sees such a beautiful face, won't he be infatuated?" Zhao Xinhui lowered her head shyly. "Mother, your compliments are too fake. Even if I'm good-looking, it's not like what you said, right?" Xuanhuan chuckled and said, "That's right. My Hui'er is so pretty. It's said that clothes make the man and gold make the Buddha. Hui'er, you're even prettier than the young miss of a prominent family. Look at these glittering hairpins, bracelets and earrings. Who wouldn't say that they're beautiful?" While Xuanhuan was praising her, she also called out to Li Chuanying and Zhao Jing'er. "Second daughter-in-law Jing'er, tell me, isn't Hui'er beautiful today?" Chapter 12:14. Although Li Chuanying said so, she did not think so in her heart. If Jing'er could wear such beautiful clothes, wear so much jewelry and dress up well, she would definitely look better than Zhao Xinhui. After Li Chuanying finished speaking, Xuanhuan could not stop smiling. She kept whispering in Zhao Xinhui's ear, "Hui'er, did you hear that? Your second sister-in-law is praising you. If everyone thinks you look good, then you must look good." The corners of Zhao Xinhui's mouth could not help but curl up. She was very proud of herself. "Jing'er hasn't said anything yet. Jing'er, what they say is wrong. Tell me, do I look good like this?" Zhao Xinhui trusted the judgment of people her age. Her second sister-in-law and her mother were at her age. How could they know whether she was beautiful or not? Zhao Jing'er glanced at Zhao Xinhui. The corners of her mouth could not help but twitch. Her expression was very ugly. In her opinion, Zhao Xinhui was showing off in front of her. She was already very jealous. When Zhao Xinhui deliberately said that, her heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. "Jing'er, tell me quickly. Why are you in a daze?" Zhao Xinhui urged. Zhao Jing'er pursed her lips. "Auntie, what are you talking about? Of course I look good. I look very good." Zhao Xinhui sighed. "Well, in that case I'm relieved." Xuanhuan beckoned Zhao Xinhui and said, "Come, Hui'er, when you're done, quickly cover your head with the red veil. The people who are going to pick you up will be here soon." Zhao Xinhui nodded in response. "Okay, mother, I know." With that, she covered her head with the red veil. When Zhao Xinhui was done and waiting in the room, Xuanhuan saw that Li Chuanying was still in the room. She said to Li Chuanying unhappily, "Second daughter-in-law, what are you doing in the room? Your sister-in-law is busy outside. Why don't you hurry over and help?" Li Chuanying had deliberately stayed in Zhao Xinhui's house to slack off. There were so many things going on outside. It was not her Jing'er's wedding, so why did she have to worry so much? "Mother, I can't bear to part with little sister. If his little sister got married, he didn't know how long it would be before he could see his little sister again, so he couldn't bear to part with her. Right now, I just want to take a few more glances at my little sister so that I won't miss her in the future. Li Chuanying said hypocritically. After saying this, even she herself felt that it was very fake. Xuanhuan snorted coldly. Naturally, she had guessed Li Chuanying's thoughts. Enough, don't talk about this. Who doesn't know that you're slacking off? Hurry up and help out. You're still wasting time in the room. You're busy now. When Huiyer's parents pick her up, we'll have to start the banquet. Li Chuanying reluctantly dawdled for a while before slowly walking outside. Okay. Mother, I'll go now. Xuanhuan pointed at Zhao Jing'er and said, don't slack off. Hurry up and help out. This is your aunt's wedding. Everyone is hungry. Hurry up and help out. Zhao Jing'er was unwilling, but she did not dare to say anything to Xuanhuan. She could only nod and say, okay. Grandmother, I know. With that, she did the same thing as Li Chuanying. Out of the room. In the courtyard of old Zhao's house, several women were busy. Chapter 12:15. If there was no one to help, the chef would not be able to handle everything by himself. Because there were many women in old Zhao's family, they did not invite others to help like Zhao Yuner's family did. Xuanhuan was reluctant to give away the leftover dishes at the banquet after inviting others. She felt that it was better to keep them for herself. Moreover, Zhao Yuner's family invited others because they were really too busy. They could handle it, so there was no need for them to be so wasteful. In addition to Feng Xianxia, there was another person who did more work. It was the fourth branch's daughter-in-law, Chen Zhonghu. Li Chuanying was the laziest one. Seeing Li Chuanying come over, Feng Xianxia hurriedly greeted her. Sister-in-law, why are you so late? Hurry up and wash the dishes. We still need to use them to fill the dishes later. Li Chuanying saw that she was asked to wash the dishes and said unwillingly, Why should I? Why should I do the dirtiest and most tiring work? Feng Xianxia looked at Li Chuanying speechlessly and said, Sister-in-law, you didn't help us just now. What's wrong with asking you to do more work now? You. Li Chuanying wanted to refute but found that she could not find any reason. Sister-in-law, hurry up and wash the dishes. Otherwise, when mother comes out and sees that we haven't washed the dishes, she will nag again. I know. I'll wash them. Li Chuanying angrily squatted in front of the wooden basin with the dishes and began to wash them. Feng Xianxia saw Zhao Jing'er and called her over. Jing'er, come here. Come and help. There's still a lot of work to do. Seeing Feng Xianxia calling Zhao Jing'er to do work, Li Chuanying was unhappy and said to Feng Xianxia, Sister-in-law, it's fine if I do work. Why do you ask my Jing'er to do work too? Let her rest somewhere else. Li Chuanying felt sorry for his daughter. She was already upset today and now she still had to work. Second sister-in-law, isn't it because we don't have enough manpower? Since Jing'er happens to be free, what's wrong with helping? Feng Xianxia said indifferently. Li Chuanying's brows knitted together. She felt that Feng Xianxia was twisting words and forcing logic. She happened to catch a glimpse of Shin Pan'er, who was sitting motionlessly to the side. She said to Li Chuanying, Sister-in-law, you told my Jing'er not to help, but look at your daughter-in-law. Why isn't she helping? What right do you have to order my Jing'er around? Feng Xianxia knew that Li Chuanying was complaining about her preferential treatment. She pursed her lips and said to Li Chuanying, My Pan'er has to take care of Yang. Your Jing'er doesn't have to take care of the child. Li Chuanying rolled his eyes at Feng Xianxia. Sister-in-law, you've been saying this for more than 3 years. Because of this, Pan'er has never done any housework since she married into our old Zhao's family. Now that Yang is all grown up, why can't she leave? Can't she just put the child aside and watch him? Must she hold him in her arms? He's not a baby who can't walk. Li Chuanying's words made Feng Xianxia very uncomfortable in her heart. My Pan'er is different. She comes from a well-off family. Marrying into our old Zhao's family is not good for her. How can we let her do housework? Chapter 12:16. You. Feng Xianxia looked at Li Chuanying angrily. Although she knew that Li Chuanying was telling the truth, she didn't want to hear it. Eldest sister-in-law, don't treasure your eldest daughter-in-law. She should help when she needs help. She can't cut and cook, but she can at least help me wash the dishes, right? Feng Xianxia's eyes darkened. She didn't want to say anything at first, but at this time, Xuanhuan walked out and said to Feng Xianxia, Eldest daughter-in-law, I think second daughter-in-law is right. Pan'er actually married into our hometown, so she has to do some housework. Let her do it quickly. It's so busy today and everyone is busy. Why can't she rest alone? Since xuanhuan had spoken, xianxia couldn't say anything else. She could only shout at Xinpan. Pan girl. Xinpan heard xianxia's shout and what Li Chuiying said just now. She knew that xianxia was calling her to do some work, so she had no choice but to bite the bullet and go over. Mother. Xinpan called out. Xianxia looked at Xinpan apologetically. Pan girl, hurry up and help your second aunt wash the dishes. Xinpan knew that she couldn't escape, so she sighed in her heart and nodded in response. Mother, I understand. I'll go now. Okay. Xinpan walked to Li Chuiying's side and squatted down to wash the dishes. She treated Li Chuiying coldly. If it weren't for Li Chuiying, she wouldn't have come over to do housework. Xinpan was most afraid of washing dishes because her hands were very fragile. If they were soaked in water for too long, they would easily peel and break, causing pain. A pair of originally white and tender hands would become very ugly. Xinpan suppressed the disgust in her heart and washed the dishes. However, some thoughts appeared in her mind. She couldn't stand the people in old Zhao's family. They were all very strange. If she had to stay with them for the rest of her life, she would probably break down. It was already very difficult to endure for 3 years. If she continued to endure, she would probably break down. Actually, there was no need for them to stay together. They could wait for the future and split up. After all, the people in the third branch had already split up, so the people in the first branch could naturally split too. If they split up, the whole family wouldn't have to eat together. If the first branch started cooking, Xinpan would be able to use her own money to supplement their meals. After all, they wouldn't have to eat too much food and the expenses. She didn't take out any money now because there were too many people in the Zhao family. Moreover, she felt that there was no need to subsidize these weirdos. If she had the money, she might as well secretly buy some snacks to eat. After all, the first branch had to live with the others and the others is. After all, the first didn't have to lead the others and lead and the other is them. That's. The more Xinpan thought about it, the stronger her desire to separate from the family grew. No, after today's work, she had to talk to xianxia and xuanhuan and discuss the matter of splitting up. Old Zhao's kitchen was buzzing with activity. The sound of chopping could be heard constantly. Compared to the busy old Zhao's family, Zhao Yun'er's family was much more leisurely. Chapter 12:17. At noon, Zhao Yun'er's family prepared lunch and called out to the workers to eat, while Zhao Wenhua ate at old Zhao's banquet table. After all, the third branch had sent money as a gift. Zhao Yun'er went to the mountains to pick tea leaves during the day. When she went to the third branch, Zhao Ping happened to come over. Zhao Ping came over for no other reason than to borrow money from Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua. Secondly, to help Ma Xiaofeng plot against his younger brother, Zhao Tianan. Not long after Zhao Ping arrived, the wedding procession sent by young Master Meng arrived. However, because Zhao Xinhui was only going to be a concubine, young Master Meng did not come personally and only sent a wedding procession. The wedding procession was not shabby for Zhao Xinhui. There were many people, horses and luxurious sedan chairs. It was much better than the day of Zhao Ping'er's wedding. The villagers rarely saw horses. When they saw that there were horses in the wedding procession, they curiously came forward to watch. They looked and talked about it. As for the wedding procession's sedan chair, it was carried by 8 people. It was decorated with red cloth, and it was big and imposing. There were 4 golden bells hanging from the 4 corners of the sedan chair. When the procession walked, the bells rang from time to time, making crisp and pleasant sounds. The villagers had never seen such a scene, so they naturally sighed. Zhao Ping saw such a scene and felt sour in her heart. Not to mention the horses, Zhao Ping was most concerned about the wedding procession's sedan chair. The large and luxurious sedan chair really stung Zhao Ping'er's eyes. Zhao Ping thought back to when she was a monk. Not only was the shelf rented by her family Qin broken, but it also fell apart. There was no way for people to sit on it. With such a comparison, how could Zhao Ping feel at ease? She bit her lower lip and wondered why that Zhao Xinhui was so lucky. Xuanhuan shouted at the top of her lungs when she saw the bridal procession approaching. The bridal procession is here. Hurry and get ready. Zhao Xinhui heard Xuanhuan's voice and stood up from the bed. Not long after, under everyone's gaze, a woman wearing a red wedding dress walked out. The jewels on his body were very dazzling. The men and women in the village were all stunned. They had never seen anyone get married in such a glamorous way. Ah, don't say that. This old Zhao's daughter is so beautiful that I can't take my eyes off her. Look at her figure. How many women can be like this? That's right, those curves are really seductive. Tsk, that's right. Why didn't I know before? If I had known, I would also have received a marriage proposal from the old Zhao's family. Who knows, you might have been able to marry such a beauty. Alright, don't say any more. If your wife heard this, she would break your legs. Ha, you're so afraid of your wife that you dare to have such thoughts. Be careful, we'll complain later. Don't. I'm just saying. But this Zhao Xinhui is really a stunner. Old Zhao's family really hid it well. Stop looking. She's lucky to be able to marry into a rich family. You can't imagine it. Under everyone's envious gazes, Zhao Xinhui sat on the bridal sedan chair. Hearing the discussions around her, Zhao Xinhui couldn't help but curl the corners of her lips. Chapter 12:18. The corners of her mouth curled up involuntarily. This display of extravagance really made her proud. Thinking of everyone's envy of her, Zhao Xinhui felt a burst of pride. Who said that young Master Meng's looks were lacking? She would be satisfied as long as she could live a good life with young Master Meng in the future. Zhao Xinhui sat in the sedan chair. With a shout from the matchmaker, the sedan chair started moving. In old Zhao's courtyard, Xuanhuan saw this scene and couldn't help but wipe the tears from the corners of her eyes. Seeing that Zhao Xinhui was getting married, Xuanhuan was both happy and sad. After all, a married daughter was like spilled water. It would be very difficult for her to see her again in the future. She didn't know when Zhao Xinhui would be able to come back. If she married into an ordinary family, she could come back often. However, there should be many rules in young Master Meng's residence. After all, young Master Meng came from a wealthy family and was different from them country bumpkins. Even Zhao Baoshan, who was at the side, had tears in his eyes. Seeing that the bridal sedan chair had started moving, Xuanhuan directly cried and wailed, "Ah, my hui, mother's flesh and blood, mother can't bear to part with you." After saying that, she began to wail again, crying very sadly. Zhao Baoshan glanced at Xuanhuan. Seeing that Xuanhuan wasn't crying as if she was marrying off a daughter, but as if she was crying at a funeral, he said to Xuanhuan with a cold face, Crying, what are you crying for? His daughter's marriage was a joyous occasion. Look at how you're crying. Aren't you afraid of bad luck? Xuanhuan wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. Old man, I can't bear to part with Hui. I raised a daughter for so long, and now she's suddenly getting married. I feel sad. Zhao Baoshan rolled his eyes at Xuanhuan. Then are you hoping that she won't get married? So that she can stay at home all day with you? Xuanhuan wiped her tears and shook her head. That's not it either. We will definitely get married. Isn't that enough? Let's see what you're going to cry for. Alright, don't cry. Hurry up and get busy. The banquet is about to begin. Xuanhuan sobbed and glanced in the direction where Zhao Xinhui had left. She sighed and went back to work. At this time, the people who came to attend the banquet were all in the courtyard, waiting for the banquet to begin. Xuanhuan wiped her tears and went to the kitchen. The chef in the kitchen called out, Chef Zhou, can we start the banquet now? Chef Zhou wiped his apron and said to Xuanhuan, No, we have to wait for a while. Why do we have to wait for a while? Why haven't you finished your work yet? Back then, my third branch was even faster than you. Xuanhuan grumbled in dissatisfaction. When Chef Zhou heard Xuanhua's words, he replied with some displeasure, It's not that I didn't work well. These assistants are all slower than the previous one. They haven't even prepared the things that should be prepared. What can I do? Are you trying to put the blame on me? Xuanhuan felt that Chef Zhou should not treat her like this since she had spent money to invite him back. She said angrily, I spent money to invite you back, so I have to give you 800 copper coins. You have to do more work. How can you put the blame on the rest of my family? I think you're the one who can't do it. You're not worth 800 copper coins. No, after the banquet I can't give you that much. I can only give you 600 copper coins at most. Chapter 12:19. I say, you old woman, why are you so unreasonable? We chefs are responsible for cooking here. You didn't even cut the vegetables that were supposed to be cut, washed the dishes that were supposed to be washed, and looked for the things that were supposed to be there. How can you blame me for wasting so much time? Chef Zhou replied unhappily. Xuanhua put her hands on her waist and said in an imposing manner, "You didn't make it clear before. I invited you over but you were busy with all these. How can you count on others?" Chef Zhou frowned. He felt that it was useless to reason with people like Xuanhua. He angrily took off the apron on his body and said to Xuanhua, "If you give me 600 copper coins then you're going back on your words. I won't cook this banquet." As he said that, he was about to leave. Xianxia hurried forward to stop him. "Mother, I said I'll give you 800 copper coins, so I'll give you 800 copper coins. Now that Chef Zhou is leaving, what about our family's banquet?" "That's right, Mother. We don't know how to cook many dishes and Yun didn't come to help us. She said that we can only count on Chef Zhou." Qin Zhanzao also chimed in. What Xuanhua was still nagging, it wasn't done well in the first place. Of course it's not worth the money. 600 copper coins is already good enough. Chef Zhou had cooked for so many people, but he had never met someone like Xuanhua. What kind of person was this? Even if Feng Xianxia and Chen Hongzhao pulled him back, he still didn't want to cook. Okay. I'll take it that I suffered a loss today. Whoever wants to cook can cook." Chef Zhou angrily pushed Feng Xianxia away. Seeing that Chef Zhou was really going to leave, Feng Xianxia and Chen Hongzhao were very anxious. They hurriedly persuaded Xuanhua, "Mother, don't say any more. Hurry and persuade Chef Zhou. If Chef Zhou leaves, how can the banquet continue?" "Mother, you can't say something soft. You can't ruin little sister's happy occasion for 200 copper coins, right? If this gets out, people will laugh at us." "That's right, Mother. It was such a glorious occasion. We can't let others talk about the banquet. Otherwise, when little sister finds out, she'll blame us." With Feng Xianxia and Chen Hongzhao's persuasion, Xuanhua rolled her eyes. Although she was unwilling, she had no choice. Thus he nodded and said, All right then. That chef really got lucky." "Mother, don't be angry. The most important thing is to make little sister's wedding grand, don't you think so?" Xuanhua replied, Yes. Hurry up and call Chef Zhou back." "All right." Feng Xianxia replied, feeling relieved in her heart. The reason why she kept Chef Zhou alive was that she was afraid that Xuanhua would not be able to find him later. If that happened, they would have to work for her. That wouldn't do. She was already busy. Living was tiring enough. If she cooked a big pot of dishes, she would be exhausted to death. Chef Zhou was packing up his things. When he was about to leave, Feng Xianxia ran over and shouted to Chef Zhou, "Chef Zhou, don't take my mother-in-law's words to heart. I just said that the salary will definitely not be less. You can rest assured." Chef Zhou was a person with a temper. When he heard Feng Xianxia's words, he snorted coldly, Forget it. No need. I'll go. Your family's banquet, whoever wants to cook can do it. I won't earn 800 copper coins. I'll go now." Chapter 12:20. Feng Xianxia did not expect Chef Zhou to say this. She was stunned on the spot. After she reacted, she hurriedly said to Chef Zhou, "Chef Zhou, don't be like this. If you leave, what will happen to my family's banquet?" "What does that have to do with me? I still want to say that I'm really unlucky to have come here today. Not only did I not earn any money, I even suffered a stomach full of anger. Chef Zhou, don't be like this. I'll ask my mother to apologize to you. This banquet is halfway done. Is there any way to invite another chef now?" Feng Xianxia frowned and looked at Chef Zhou with a pleading expression. Chef Zhou snorted coldly, "That's still your family's business. All right, I'm not going to talk nonsense with you. I've packed my things, I have to go." With that, Chef Zhou carried the wicker basket he brought over and walked out of the courtyard. Feng Xianxia hurriedly came out of the kitchen. Xuanhua shouted, "Mother, hurry up and come out. Chef Zhou is leaving. I said 800 copper coins, but he's not willing to continue cooking." Xuanhua rushed out of the kitchen and scolded loudly, "What? Didn't I say 800 copper coins and he's not willing to do it?" Feng Xianxia nodded and said, "Yes, Mother. He's not willing to do it. Right now he's in a fit of anger. It's probably because he was angered by you just now. Hurry up and say something. It's best if you say something soft and apologize. That way he'll agree." However, Xuanhua frowned. "Why should I say something soft? How can this person be like this? Since he said that he's going to host a banquet for our family's head chef, how can he go back on his words? If this spreads out, let's see how he's going to do business in the future." Chef Zhou's sharp ears heard Xuanhua's words. He could not help but turn around and said to Xuanhua, "Who's going back on their words? Shouldn't you be the first one to go back on your words?" You clearly said 800 copper coins, but you suddenly said 600 copper coins. What do you mean by this? Xuanhuan was not convinced by Chef Zhou's words. She said, isn't it because you work too slowly? That's why it's worth so much money. Fine. Whatever you say. I won't cook anymore. You can't do anything to me. I'm really unlucky. Chef Zhou muttered and left in a huff. He was really an idiot. He had wasted his time arguing with Xuanhuan, and now he was even angrier. At this moment Chef Zhou really left. Feng Xianxia said in her heart, it's over. Mother. Feng Xianxia looked at Xuanhuan not knowing what to do. Xuanhuan's frown deepened. The chef, this was too much. Wasn't this clearly intentional? He must be doing this to get her to give him more money. She wasn't that stupid. At this moment Zhao Baoshan walked over. What's going on? Feng Xianxia said to Zhao Baoshan with a bitter face, Father, our family chef left. What? Zhao Baoshan was stunned. The chef left? What's going on? What's going to happen to the banquet now that he's gone? Feng Xianxia sighed and said, Yes, father. I don't know what to do now. Where can we find a chef for our banquet? Zhao Baoshan's brows furrowed. Chef can leave in peace? Don't change the topic. What's going on? Give me a clear explanation. Faced with Zhao Baoshan's interrogation, Feng Xianxia looked at Xuanhuan with some hesitation. Father. Chapter 12:21. His displeased gaze landed on Xuanhuan. I say, you old woman. Last year's marriage is such an important matter, and you're still causing trouble. What on earth are you thinking? Don't tell me you're pretending to be sh*t. Xuanhuan was a little unconvinced by Zhao Baoshan's words. Old man, why are you scolding me? You should be scolding that chef. Who asked him to be so troublesome? Troublesome? Why troublesome? It's not time yet. If the banquet starts later, so be it. It's not like they want to be slow, right? After all, the earlier we get busy, the earlier we can go back. Old man, it's useless for you to scold me now. I just can't stand that chef. Look, how can there be a chef like that, leaving just like that? Xuanhuan continued to nag. Zhao Baoshan only felt that Xuanhuan was really hopeless. Now you tell me who's going to cook now that the chef is gone. Where are we going to find a chef at this time? If we mess up today's banquet, our old Zhao family will lose face. See how I'll deal with you. Zhao Baoshan snorted lightly and said to Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan was a little flustered after being glared at by Zhao Baoshan. She was afraid that Zhao Baoshan would really deal with her. Who to get to cook was indeed a problem now. Xuanhuan frowned and said to Zhao Baoshan, Old man, this chef is gone. If we can't do it, let's get Yun to help. Yun to help? Then you go and try first. If you can order Yun around, then we'll talk about it later. This. Xuanhuan frowned. She naturally knew that Zhao Yun was not easy to order around. Then I'll go and try first. Xuanhuan muttered after hesitating for a while. The banquet couldn't be delayed for too long. It had to be resolved quickly. Okay, then you go and try. Zhao Baoshan nodded in response. At this time, after Zhao Yun finished watching the scene of Zhao Xinhui's wedding, she went back to the kitchen to help cook. Zhao Xinhui's wedding was extravagant. News of it would definitely spread throughout the surrounding villages. Everyone was envious of Zhao Xinhui, but Zhao Yun didn't feel much. What was the use of putting on such a grand show? Zhao Xinhui was a concubine after all. Who knew how long young Master Meng, that lecherous fellow, would favor Zhao Xinhui? Zhao Yun felt that it didn't matter if the family she married was poor. The most important thing was that the person treated her well. Mother, father went to the table for lunch, right? Zhao Yun asked casually. Liang Jinxiao nodded and said, Yes. Then we can cook one less dish. Okay. By the way, mother, how much did you send as a gift for younger aunt's wedding? Zhao Yun gossiped. She was afraid that her parents would send too much. Speaking of this, Liang Jinxiao looked a little disappointed. Sai, we sent 66 copper coins in the beginning. Your grandmother said that we sent too little, only 66 copper coins. She said that it wasn't easy for your younger aunt to get married. As her brother and sister-in-law, we should send more, Liang Jinxiao said. After hearing Liang Jinxiao's words, Zhao Yun frowned. 66 copper coins is too little? When older sister Ping got married, didn't they only send 20 copper coins? Speaking of which, it was even more difficult for Zhao Ping to get married. Shouldn't old Zhao's family send more? You're tuning in to the Sword Dance in the Vast Sky YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.